Start stream. Oh shit, okay. It is streaming. So it should... I have to go onto my YouTube and double check, but it should be... Yeah. Nope. Maybe I have to do something else. Okay, there we go. We should be... Let's have in a moment. Can you guys see if it's doing a thing? It's telling me that it is. But I don't know. I can't find it on my YouTube channel, which is very bizarre. Apparently it's been live for 1 minute and 55. No, I don't either. It's probably fucking streaming to Twitch. Facebook says it's... Ah, okay. Here we are. I think it's set to private. How do I... Aha. Public. Okay. Yes, there we go. Okay. That is actually working now. So I need to get your guys' lovely faces up. Hopefully that comes across. There you are. Okay, so let's try and get the link out for the live feed and then we can have a little chat. Oh, the life of a YouTuber. Did you get yours working, Muffin? Did you get your stream working? Well, you guys can copy it and like download it and repost it. Yeah. Yeah, some entertainment as well. Yeah, I hit that one up. You're already in there. You and me both. Right. So anybody that is watching, thank you very much for coming on. Yes, I can do that. Yeah, I was just literally, I've just put on the Discord, it's not Assassin's Creed. I'm actually playing Borderlands 3 at the moment. Alright. Well, I think we've all come together to let everybody know about the whole boycott situation and what is happening. Not just the boycott, but just the change movement in general. And yeah, give everybody a little catch up in case there's information that they've missed, all that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, I think Muffin's gonna pull some topics out of a bowl, and we're gonna discuss the topics. I haven't written them down, so Muffin's also gonna tell us what the topics are. Is it me? Okay, hold on. Let me try and fix it. It's not going well. Hold on. Is it me? I've got my. They should be able to hear you guys as well. Okay, you guys speak, please, somebody. Okay, I'm picking you up on my end. Oh, something's going on. It doesn't like it.
I can see a Zoom meeting on the screen.
Yeah, you'll see the OBS thing.
Yeah, OBS.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry. I keep trying to type something in and it keeps bouncing off. It should be working now.
Is your desktop audio set as the same as Zoom?
It is now. Can you see your little bars jumping up when you talk?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I think. Test. Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually about a 5-second delay.
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, you guys can hear me.
That's weird.
Yeah, we can hear Meg now.
Yeah, there's usually about a 5-second delay.
I switched my headset, so.
Is it picking up you guys on the actual?
I don't think so.
But the screen is like this.
It is because it's capturing my screen so you can see what I can see. Does that make sense? So if I go back to this one, you're there. But it needs to pick up your audio as well, otherwise that's
Audio
not
is
good.
okay.
I don't know if it's picking up it up on the live feed.
Rainer was
I
saying
haven't
still
written them
only
down,
you.
so
Let me
Muffin's
see
also going to tell us what
if we can get a confirmation now.
It should be working now. Oh, you guys are very quiet. Like it is now. Can you see your little? I can hear you, but it's very quiet. How do I? Sorry, guys. I'll get this sorted as quickly as I can. There's always bloody technical issues for me on a live feed for some reason. I can hear myself through all your headsets. That's hilarious. Shit. Right. Settings.
I'm trying to listen to the YouTube so that I can see if I hear myself or just you. I heard TK at one point.
I did too.
So I saw a slider. It looks like there's a slider above your headset, so the desktop audio when you're back at the other channel or the other tab.
On this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you amazing person.
I was gonna say.
Also, our stream is called Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I know. I'll change it on edit.
All right.
Okay, right. We should. We
All
should
right,
be
I'm hearing
working
everyone
now.
now. Yahoo, Yahoo. All right. You want to go through that introduction again?
Sorry, guys. Thanks for being patient. Muffin, take it away.
Okay, so Creed asked us to be her guests because none of us is able to post a live stream on our channels, basically. Only she's capable, probably Kitchen as well. So we will be talking about why we met here today. Maybe this question was good. Why are you guys here?
So yeah, we need to consistently update everybody on what's going on with the sort of change movement. There's a lot of comments in different rooms because this is spread over so many different media outlets at the moment, but lots of people either have missed bits of information or don't quite understand what it is we're trying to do. I think a massive thing is that people are expecting change instantaneously because they might not understand how these things sort of work in the ins and outs. So yeah, that's why I thought it was important.
And we have 8 topics basically, we chose together, which are topics well covered in our letter, community letter. The letter was based on your poll. I think till this day, some 1,700 people responded to that poll, and we kind of agree on a lot of stuff. So this is our common effort. And we have bugs and glitches, we have slowdown updates, improve rewards, guards, migrations, meeting with developers, comment, our feedback and future steps. And yesterday I proposed, as a last topic, I proposed in-game communication and why it sucks.
Mm. Yeah. Major problems. So we've got Meg with us as well. He's been doing loads and loads of work in the background that you guys might not even know about. Might not be appreciated by devs because they're going to get thrown a load of data at them, but so Meg
Oh,
can say
speaking of, I'ma share this link in VIP.
yeah.
Oh, me too. You have Lara, I have Constance.
You're just trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?
And
This was
yeah,
our
we've got
purpose.
Viserion and Keychain with us as well. Hopefully you guys watch all of their stuff, and if you don't, head over to their channels and Muffins as well, and hit them a sub.
Yeah, I'm the only non-YouTube person here. Sorry.
But yeah, you're doing so much.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can actually count me. I have like 4 videos.
that's
4
more than I
excellent
do.
videos.
I love all 156 people who have subscribed to my channel.
Including me.
And me.
Love you, Muffin. Love you guys. Love you kindly.
Okay, so
right.
I think Muffin is gonna like pull topics out of a bowl, and then we're gonna kind of discuss them. We're gonna try not to talk over each other too much. So sorry if we do like a little bit. We will stop ourselves and let one person kind of
Okay.
continue.
Who wants to go first?
I think we should go in video order, which would mean that you go first.
Oh,
But also, if I'm gonna throw Creed's name out there. If either of us go off on a rampage, can one of y'all just like
rain us fucking back in?
If any of you guys watched the developer call, I most definitely went on a couple of rants at them.
The thing is, like, we all are here because we're passionate about the game, and none of us want to see it die. And with passion, become a lot of fucking rants because ultimately everybody's got a lot to say about it. So yeah,
and a lot of F-bombs. I did really, really well with the dev call, not cursing, but this stream, I most definitely am going to say fuck a whole lot of times.
yeah, well, that's just natural chat over here in the UK, so I can't help myself anyway.
Well, Dalton likes to tell me that he thinks of me as this like innocent person who never curses and never drinks, and here I am cursing my face off and drinking a mimosa. So cheers to you.
I'm on the old coffees, I'm afraid. If any of you guys watching have any questions, we will try and answer as many questions as we can. Obviously, we don't have the answers to everything. We're not the only people involved in kind of what's going on. We're just the people willing to sort of try and give you as much information as we possibly can. So yeah.
Yes, and a lot of it is I mean, there three people on this call are admins in the chat. I will say that I can speak a lot on feedback that I've gotten from people, but a lot of opinions that I'm going to say today are like my sole opinions on things that need to change, not necessarily what the group as a whole feels. But y'all can always, my inbox is always open. So if you hate anything I say, just message me and tell me that I'm an asshole.
Well, the idea of kind of having 5 of us here is because we will all have different opinions, but somebody watching will agree with one of us. And it's, we are a community. It's okay to not have the same opinion as somebody else. Somebody will be there representing your opinion, even if it might not be the general consensus. So I think that's really important to put that across.
Okay.
All right, Muffin, topic 1. Pick one.
Number 5. where's the camera? Number 5. Oh God. Okay. Number 5. Number 5 is migrations. Great.
Hey!
It wasn't staged. I promise you guys.
Start with a nice heated one.
Okay. Well,
Dive right
I'm
in.
perfect person to speak first because, well, I just went through a migration process myself as only one from you, I think.
Yeah.
I
Or
will
you.
not be migrating.
No.
Yeah.
But no,
So
we haven't gone. It hasn't gotten up to us yet.
so I migrated from K16 to K12 with one account, and from 33 to 52 with second account. Everything went well. People were complaining about the cost in general. It was their major concern. And after test migrations, you may see the movie about it. Link is in the description below. Then I did a second movie about the actual migrations, and unfortunately during second migrations for the whole 1 to 100, the cost was the same. So this haven't changed, even though all people say this system is basically crooked, because as for K12, as a fine example, 3 or 4 people came there as a rank number 1. That means it cost them $2,000 per person to migrate there. And we know what we did wrong. What we did wrong, what was the issue, but it's already done. So we can only learn for the future migrations how to decrease this cost. But still, it's a ripoff, and I know many people decided not to migrate. Razi K432. Regards for Razi, because he, for example, said that the cost was outrageous. So this is one. What else? We talked about this slightly during our developers call, and Luca started this topic because it appears that you guys will be migrating in 3 or 4 months. And look what was going on during KVK, for example, yesterday. We got 52, and we got conquered by 52, obviously. So I was basically fighting myself. That was fun. But what's the most horrible? I looked what K22 got. 22 got boosted a lot, like a lot. I placed them as second strongest kingdom in this migrations matchup. And because they have 7 stars, they got very easy matchup. So my suspicion is that this matching system haven't changed at all, because they got easy matchup because they have 7 stars. And K12 was already very strong. We have, I think, 11 stars, and we got 52. And what was the third kingdom? 67. Also very strong kingdom. So I don't think matchup system has changed, even though developers suggested that maybe they will take into consideration changing it after migrations. So I would like to park here. Maybe you guys have something to drop. Maybe I'll jump into it later.
Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, migration, I've said like over and over again that the price was just ludicrous. Before people started migrating and they released the prices, I said in one of my videos, like, please do not spend a penny on it. And the reason being was all it takes is one person and you've just justified GOG's reasoning. Now, obviously, not any one person is to blame for that. That's purely on GOG devs, because for some people, they genuinely did make it quite appealing. I know people that had managed to migrate for like $6, $12, and for those people, they had a really good deal. But everybody else is shit out of luck. it should have been a fixed price across the board, no matter what castle size or what rank you were on the leaderboard. Every single kingdom should have had the same amount of slots available, regardless of activity. I also think that actually activity of the kingdom shouldn't have come into it because, as I've said before, all of the bot castles and all of the resource sellers, those castles are active. Those bots log into those castles on a daily basis. Us in 433 alone have probably got 2,000 of those accounts that are just resource sellers. We get at least 6 mail in our inboxes of a day. Those people have a minimum of 20 to 25 castles each, you know. It is never fucking ending. So for us, when migration does open to us, we're going to have barely any slots because these resource sellers castles are going to impose on our activity stats. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I've said a lot about it. That's all I've really got to say about it. I think it was just a massive I think it was a half ditched attempt at making a shit ton of revenue. And I think even if only 20% of people do migrate, they've still achieved that goal.
So, all right. What I wish had happened, I wish that they had broken down. Okay, so I'm backtrack. So migration cost is absurd. So I feel like we have a few issues with migration. One being cost, two being the timing of what kingdoms are open when, and then three being how many people can move where. So the cost being higher for big people, I understand. Um, it if you're moving a C16 farm, it shouldn't cost the same as moving what could be a number one player in that kingdom. With that being said, $2,000 is fucking outrageous. If you're in a kingdom that you don't like, don't get along with, is completely dead, you are the only person with T13s, any of
Yeah.
that sort. I understand you wanting to get out or moving to a more popular kingdom, whatever, and asking for $2,000 so that you can continue playing a game and be happy in it is ludicrous. So cost. What I wish they would have done with slots was more broken that down into tiers, right? So
Yeah, that would make sense.
instead of giving a kingdom like an overall, like a kingdom only 20 slots, why they didn't do like only 3 people can be in top 10, like only 3 people can move to be in top 10. Let's say 10 people can move to the top 50. And then if you're like barely going to be on the leaderboard, you should just be able to migrate for the few dollars that you want to migrate for. It's absurd that average players who want to stay with their big who want to stay with their friends, people want to bring their farms, all of that, like those people who aren't going to matter on the leaderboard anyway. I say aren't going to matter. You guys very much matter to gameplay and keeping people active and whatever. I'm in that boat. I probably wouldn't matter anywhere that I would migrate to. Not that I'm going to, but like if you don't have the stats or the backup and you're not going to be a mega leader where you're going to be, why you're stopped from migrating is just absurd to me. If you're not going to be in the top 100 of that kingdom, you should just be able to go there off of the strength that that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
So I think that they really dropped the ball on that a lot. Like it could have been tiered out a lot better to benefit every level of player that wanted to go. So cost, movement, and timing. So we said this in the dev call. Luca had said something along the lines of like the older kingdoms tend to be more powerful, and like some of the younger kingdoms haven't had as much time. They don't have the airship parts. They don't have this. They don't have that. Like they should have worked backwards instead of working forwards. And I had suggested them trying to do 2 groupings at the same time. either way, I think one or two or three of those things need to happen. It is absolutely with them not changing the matching system, it is crazy that they are going to make kingdoms wait 4 months of all of these crazy new beasted kingdoms without without giving them the same opportunity
Well, yeah, we're
and
still
without
gonna get
changing the
paired.
matching system.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
still gonna get
And they're
paired in events
clearly
with them.
Yeah, and they're clearly not changing the matching system. So anyone who is now in a more dead kingdom who lost all of their bigs, how much time now they have to wait, like Kingdom 33 who just lost so many people, they have to wait how many months for their round to come back again before they can even like attempt to regain some of that traction, and they have to face all of the stars that they have for a half a year. That's not going to keep people playing.
Yeah,
Like
it's bonkers.
they just drop the ball all around with migrations where that's concerned for me.
Someone asked the
I
question
hate them.
how much it costs on the chat. So the cost is from $1 to $2,000 for the first place. And I had a chat with Duke today, and he asked for the cost as well. If you're not in the mix yet, so currently we have no migrations. You Yeah, I need that one too. You can only estimate your cost. So if you feel like you're number one, your cost will probably be $2,000. If you are in top 10 but not not like the strongest, you probably pay from 50 to $200. And if you're totally a farm castle, you will pay like $1 or $10. So this to answer the question, I also pasted the link to my movie about it. And I have some comments, but I really wish to hear Guys finally.
Yeah, I was just waiting my turn.
You good boy.
So for me, in Kingdom 524, and I don't know if people have been following Kingdom 524, but we used to be very, very strong. And Dark and Widow quit, which kind of started a domino effect, and more people have been quitting and quitting and quitting.
Yeah.
And the migrations being 4 months away, we're getting paired against people who want to conquer us. And for the first couple of KVKs, it was, okay, you guys are our friends, we'll let it go. But this most recent one, Luca, who's a friend of ours, matched us and said, sorry guys, we gave you one pass, but my guys want to fight. So they took their triple crown, which is great, but now more people are leaving, and I'm ready to go. Also, I'm on the edge of quitting this game because I am playing now in a completely dead kingdom. I have no options. I have to wait either 4 months of losing everything all the time and playing in a dead kingdom, or trying to. I don't know. At this point, it's completely dead. So I just wish that they would push the timeline up, and that maybe not even in order necessarily, but if there's 7 groups, do group 1 and group 7, and then group 2 and 4, or split it up somehow, so that it's not older kingdoms, less older kingdoms, all the way up to newest. So the newest kingdoms are getting completely screwed over. So I wish that they would change something there, and I hope that they do something quickly, because they've just created a whole lot of monster powerful kingdoms that are going to dominate for the next month until the next set of migrations. And that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I think ultimately there's 2 reasons why people stay playing the game. It's the social elements of it and the relationships that we build up, but it's also to do with being competitive and being able to compete. Obviously, you do have I hate calling them farmers, but you have accounts that don't necessarily take part in events, and they're generally the people that are happy to take a step back a little bit. But for the rest of us, we want to be out there fighting and having fun and enjoying the game. But if you can't get past the first hurdle because the people that you're up against are just so fucking strong, it just takes your confidence away, and you give up a lot quicker than what you would do if it was more of an even match in and more on a keel. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more problems with this, because as you say, as soon as the spender kind of leaves, which kind of is the person that actually holds the group together. Like, there's generally a lot of admiration for that person within the kingdom. They generally have quite a lot of respect. So, everything kind of centers around that person. And generally, when they leave it, like you said, Key, it has a major knock-on effect. And even in 433 at the moment, we've been a really strong, like, we've had a lot of activity compared to most sort of older kingdoms. We've managed to maintain quite a high level of activity. I didn't realize quite how much until I started going and playing in other kingdoms, and I realized how fucking lucky I was, basically, to still be in such an active kingdom, like, genuinely. But then we had Uncharted Seas, and since then our players have been dropping like flies, and most of it is down to the marquee badges, because we have like a handful of fairly big spenders. You know, we're not talking like girls and sort of level, but you know, they spend a lot of fucking money, Meg being one of them. And but when people start to leave, it is having a knock-on effect. I'm noticing that I'm logging on, like, my alliance particularly, we have people from all over the world, so that there is always somebody online, so that if a new player does join our kingdom and joins our alliance, they're always occupied. They're never going to be just sat in silence with their own thoughts. But these moments of silence are coming a lot more frequently now as we're losing more players. So it's had a really detrimental effect. And I do believe that the reason why is not because of Uncharted Seas itself, but it was the bomb of merger, and how, because people were expecting it to go one way, and I think as soon as people found out that that wasn't happening, and it wasn't anything to do with Uncharted Seas, they kind of started to lose faith, and for us that was quite a really pivotal point.
So you just said merger instead of
Oh
migration.
yeah. Well,
Oh
we thought it
god.
was going to be a merger,
It's
didn't
not
we?
mergers.
You know, we thought it
I
was
was
going to
just
be, and it
so
wasn't, and it was a massive fucking disappointment.
so that's another thing that I just wanted to say. I really hope that that GOG through this process follows suit with KOA a little bit.
Yeah.
I really hope that they do migrations so that people who want to get away from bullies or like actually hate their team, any of that kind of stuff can happen so that people can get kind of to where they want to be. And then I hope that they follow suit after that to help pick up the dead kingdoms with other
Yeah.
things and move it to a merger situation. I have a lot of doubt about mergers. I know a lot of people say a lot of things about mergers and how it killed off a lot of things in KOA. But it would, if it is their plan, I hope that that's something that they announce sooner than later. I think that people need to know if migrations are going to be the end all be all, and they're just going to do X amount of rounds of migrations over and over again, or if they have any intention of going from migration to merger, so that people who couldn't afford to move or didn't move, end up finding a new home anyway, in a different kingdom. My biggest concern, like my personal biggest concern with a merger instead of a migration, is that it puts everyone onto a new server. Um, in which case, I think that all of the older kingdoms and everyone on this call, is going to have to deal with the change of the like mine stores and all of that kind of stuff, because we're
Yeah.
going to be put into a new server based on what they give new kingdoms. which is not the same. Like our old kingdom, what are, like, for anyone who isn't aware of this,
Yeah.
the deals that are offered to new kingdoms are not the deals that are offered to old kingdoms. Sometimes in new kingdoms, you can have two castles. This has happened to me. Two castles in a new kingdom, same kingdom. One is spending, one isn't, because you're building a farm and you're building a main. Those two castles get different deal options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was struggling when I was doing speed up, training speed up movie.
Yeah.
I don't have that pack you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are GOG drops different deals for different castles based on spending levels.
And
I
they
actually
think
don't
that we
have.
don't notice as well. They think that we don't notice this shit, but most of us have more than one account.
and most of us talk to the people in our kingdom. So we're like, hey, I really need help. I need help doing this, and someone's just like, well, just buy this pack, and you're like, that pack doesn't exist for me. What the fuck are you talking about? So that, I mean, that happens within your own kingdom, but it also happens in different, like the mine stores. I'm sure Muffin and Creed can tell more about which ones are different, but I know like VIP, we have VIP that we can buy in older kingdoms through different things that new kingdoms can't. The reduction not guard X, Lord XP is something that we can collect on a daily that a lot of the newer kingdoms can't.
And the airship parts as well.
Yeah.
Guys, I have a feedback from monsters that guys don't talk. Mega.
Well, Meg is like
Mega,
the voice of the people, being the only one that's not hosting a YouTube channel. So he's the voice of the people, but also one of the admins in the room doing loads and loads of work for this sort of like change movement. So yeah.
I just want to bring up two things. Originally, before the migrations actually started, we had figured that the rank one was going to be $840, and even then, people thought that was still too much money. And then, come to find out, once migration started, it ended up being $2,000 because the breakdown of the tickets that we thought were going to be 1-to-1 ended up being a lot more.
Yeah.
But yet, it still didn't stop people from doing it. So, I mean, they put the money out there, people bought into it. Now, if we do mergers after the fact, that's just kind of a slap in the face to the spenders that and the people that spent money to migrate, because now you're just going to allow the rest of the people merge into a different kingdom. Granted, mergers, you don't really get to pick and choose what kingdom you're going to merge with, so there's still a bit of, you know, back and forth with that. The other issue that I have would be that we don't know the basis on what technically is considered an active kingdom.
Yeah.
So in Muffin's server change room, you know, there were certain kingdoms that we have no idea who's in there, and they were only getting 10 people to be invited there. So, what is the basis on who gets 10, who gets 20, who gets 50, who gets 100? Because if we don't know, then how do we figure out where to go with it, or how do we change it? So, my two things. I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks, Meg.
N2E says if we were focused on GOG, like on, for example, surgery, we would be surgeons for sure.
We try, like all of us here really are here because we try and better other people's experiences, game experiences. Like the videos are there to help people because like veteran players and people that have been playing the game more than 2 years will know this, but we've had some fucking absolutely insane updates over the years. Obviously, guards being the one that really just threw everybody into the dark. and so much has changed, and it got to a point where actually Guns of Glory stopped being informative. It stopped telling you how to do stuff. So we all had to figure that shit out, and once we had it figured out, we needed everybody else to figure it out as well. So this was the best kind of outlet for it, and yeah, that's it. Muffin, what is topic number 2, my darling? I do believe
Vis or Creed, or who wants to talk now?
let's let Keychain have a little chat. Everybody's going to get sick of listening to the
okay.
ladies.
Number 8
8
is in-game communication, and why we all sit online, not
So,
in-game chatting.
in-game
man.
communication.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that you guys are similar to me, where people watch your videos and they want to add you as a friend in game. They want to have chats in game. I've got so many friends in game, and I feel bad when they message me because I have no idea. There's there's just sometimes every once in a while I'll see a notification, but sometimes I see the notification, it doesn't show me who messaged me.
Yeah, and then you have to go down the list to try and find who it is. When you have
Yeah.
hundreds of contacts, like, you can't be doing that.
And
it's impossible.
it's just unrealistic. So I try and tell people and give them a different outlet, that they can message me on Discord, or they can message me online, somewhere outside of the game, because it's just a bad system. I just have no idea. And a simple fix to that could be, it might be too much code for them to try and write a valid chat system and fit it into the game. But if you allowed people to mail their friends in other kingdoms using the in-game mail system, then I would actually be able to see those messages, because they have their own window. They show when I have or haven't looked at them. And that, I think that would be an easier fix, because you already have the cross communication with the friends list. Why not just allow friends to send in-game mail, and then we can actually have a conversation over some time. But I think that's it on that one for me, anyways.
What do you guys make of the new translation that they've put in?
It slows the chat. It slows the chat. Yeah, and it stacks, and it's not like smooth for me, so I turned it down. Yeah, it's not useful for me at all. And I play in K52 now, where there's a lot of Russians, so it's harder than it used to be.
Yeah, it doesn't. It betrays you on the old Russian translations. They're never quite what they're supposed to be.
Russian most definitely does not translate well in game at all. Like Russian, 100%. It just doesn't compute a lot of the time. I mean, we've seen that with like random notifications and stuff that have come out where like Russians will talk about teleporting, and it'll come across as like go fly here. When they're talking about like a certain castle level, and it comes across as cow, like, hey, that cow over there, and you're like, I'm not milking something, they're talking about a castle, but cool. So yeah, I mean, translations are shit. I have so much to say about in-game communication. I spent months before the change movement came out yelling at customer service every time we had an update. Literally every single time I would message them and start a ticket over and over and over again, and start new tickets on top of current tickets, about the fact that with every update they didn't change the room tab. My room tab freezes my game significantly. I can't be in more than six cross kingdom chats, more than 6 rooms in general at a time, whether it's my own kingdom or a cross kingdom. And I go to open that tab, and my entire screen is just frozen on end over and over again for at least 45, 50 a minute worth of time. And we all know that community is one of the biggest things that comes with this game, and what keeps us all engaged. And the fact that they haven't fixed our being able to talk to each other in game is absurd to me. I mean, I said that on the dev call. You guys use your VIP service outside of game because you can't figure it out yourself. Like that might show you where your issues are. The fact that we can't share like screenshots in game and we have to take it outside of game to do that is super disheartening. And like, you guys can't track how much we're actually on game or spending, talking about what we're talking about, and figuring all of that out. Like, you don't have access to any of that because you don't put any coding into any of this. And yes, the mailing, like, I 100% co-sign Keychain on being able to mail other kingdoms. If like gift envelopes actually gave anything substantial anymore, I would understand why they're like, but you don't want, we can't send those things inter-kingdom. But like what the fuck? Like, if I send Keychain one aristocratic badge, who the fuck cares?
Oh, they're bullshit. I fucking hate them.
Like, they're utter shit. Like, and I feel like that's like one of the only reasons that they don't let us mail interkingdom. But there is no like contacts in itself. Also, the fact that when you go to search a contact, you can't put in their kingdom number to like narrow down the
search. Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking for someone in Kingdom 700 and it's like the Joker, I'm never finding you. Like, can you add a weird star to your name or something so I can add you? Because that's the only way you're coming up.
Generic name number 2000. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. We have a guy in our kingdom just called Joe. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to find just Joe, but yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah. So the fact that the contacts doesn't let us search by kingdom number is annoying. The fact that we don't get notifications for when we're offline is terrible. And the fact that we can't mail inter kingdom is terrible. The fact that our room chats, you can't, like, most people can't join more than 5 or 6 chats before.
I'm on 5, and that's more than it can handle.
Yeah, more than it can handle. It's that, like, all of that, just it, like, so much to say. I hate it because we're such a strong community, and it's one thing that they should be focusing on to keep us engaged with each other more often. It literally would produce more income for them, because the more that we're online and the more that we're engaged, the more clickbait we're going to fall for. So the fact that they don't put any effort into fixing that drives me up a wall. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I have 3 questions
Okay.
asked by the people. I have something to say about that, but first, V's looks like Pam from The Office.
Okay. I was going to bring that up.
You got Pam's eyes.
This is a very important issue. I had to bring it up. Yeah. Razi and Rookie want me to say their name, so hello, Razi and Rookie.
Hello.
And Mega, who are you? Are you big? Where do you play? And why are you here?
What? Why am I here? I don't know. I got invited. I can't say no to Creed.
Meg is my right-hand man in 433, but more importantly, he is one of the admins in the Change GOG rooms, and he has been doing some awesome work behind the back of the scenes. If you guys don't know who he is now, you certainly will do by the end of Boycott.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not the popular one, talking about the chat rooms and whatnot. I don't even get messages. Like,
well, they might just know you as, what is it, Fofiddy? I can't even say.
Oh yeah. Faux Dirty D's the Mega.
That's it. Yeah.
Mega, yes, he is Mega.
So if they
Mega.
Are you the leader of 433?
433. Oh yeah. See, Muffin didn't even know.
Yeah, he is one of our big fellas in 433. Yeah.
No. I'm not big at all.
He's modest.
I hear that.
Modest and humble. That's just so I just Yeah, don't pick on Meg. So I know, and I told Sky I was going to bring this up. Sky, since the 7.5 updates, had a lot of issues with uh, just the regular chats with Kingdom and Alliance chat that she's still having issues with. So I just wanted to raise some awareness on that one. It seems to be uh, not just her, but a few people have seen it on Discord that there's an ongoing issue with just within the regular Alliance and Kingdom chats. Unfortunately, I don't know how to fix that, but I
Yeah.
just thought I would raise awareness on that one. Uh, Again, I'm not the popular one, so you know, uh, in-game
It's
chat,
very popular.
in-game chat rooms. I think I'm in maybe three of them, and I don't think I've
We'll
talked.
fix that.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's no, we're good. We are so good on that. I get yelled at all the time because people message me in game. Like people message me in game, I never see it because I just talk online and I'll go back and forth from game to line, and that's it. But if the chats were better, yes, it's definitely clickbait will give you more opportunity to stay in game, which ideally that's what they want you to be, because
Yep.
they figure the longer that you stay in game, the more opportunity you will buy something that you need. So that is not telling GOG that
GOG.
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 I can't. Yeah, we need
I
like a
saw the
gangster
shirt,
sign for GOG.
so this
Okay,
is not.
I'll rep Team Gog. I have my shirt on.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's why I
yes, we
brought it up.
have to show appreciation for Viz's t-shirt.
So I also just
Team
want to say
Gold.
this is not an invitation for GOG to make chatting something that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
This has to be
Yeah.
something.
Oh my god. Yeah. Don't be fucking
Shane
monetizing our
Space!
chat
I
room.
just want to make that very clear. I just want to make it very clear. This is something that is a very basic necessity into anything online that the chat needs to be
Functional?
Free.
functional and free. Functional and free. Maybe going out to a third party for them that actually uh, would do something like that in game might be easier for them and probably cheaper for them instead of dealing with all the people complaining. Done.
Well, I just want to mention the profit they could make by sticking a bit of advertising in there as well, like most social media websites do. Business, they don't seem to know much about that.
No,
I
they
only
don't.
have two things to say really. One, the only major issue that I have is my chats keep disappearing, like entirely. There's nothing written in the rooms, even though I know there is. Especially my R4 room.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
our sort of like Kingdom KVK room. I can write something in there and it'll be gone within 10 minutes. It's completely pointless. The only other thing that I want to say is I think the reason why we can't share screenshots and stuff is a safeguarding issue. I don't know about you ladies, but I don't fancy the dick pics up in my inbox. So
I don't like it either.
I'm quite happy to not be allowed to receive screenshots, and maybe that's something they can put on an optional thing as well. Don't fucking charge us for it. I'm not paying to see dick pics, but like, so I think that's why that isn't a function, because obviously even though Guns of Glory is very money based, you need a credit card and it's gambling involved. They still do have children on there, so I think that's ultimately the reason why that function's not there. But it doesn't mean that it isn't something that they can't look at incorporating in the future.
That's also not saying that children wouldn't also be sending those kinds of pictures.
Well, yes. Let's not go down that road.
Anyway.
Emma.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't
Yeah,
I don't get
don't-
any inappropriate pictures at all.
Yeah, don't worry about the kids from the office. It's okay.
It's
Innocent
the
Steve over
messages. Because the pictures are non-existent. It's the messages.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple things noted about in-game communication. Maybe you agree or not. So the simple fix of the issue would be, for example, increase room capacity to 500 or to 1,000.
Mhm.
the ability to take over ownership, because that was the issue in the past with
Yeah.
many rooms. The ability to share reports and to share event screens. Like, for example, we have this Darklands and we have this screen when it ends. I think these two issues would take over this screenshot issue. You say that would be enough for many chats about the game if we were able to share these two. And it would be nice if we in fact noticed all the messages. And regarding inter-kingdom communication, we could just have another tab in our messages for different kingdom, like we have message settings, reports. It would be also inter-kingdom, and that would be very simple resolution for that.
Yeah, that would be good because it would essentially be almost on a separate server, so it shouldn't interfere with whatever's going on in your kingdom mail.
So
Okay.
when these videos are downloaded or afterwards, you guys should add the different versions of Chinese subtitles for the closed captions, so that if they do decide to go back and view this, that they could at least see a translated version, because we're giving them everything they need to fix their game for free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we are.
We were doing that anyways.
Yeah, I've been doing it for like over a year now. This is actually my second Christmas YouTubing now, so I'm like, oh my god, it goes quite quickly. But yeah, we're constantly doing it, and they should pay attention to us because we're not just giving our opinion, like it's the general consensus opinion of everybody, really.
And again, it's free.
And it's free, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't
So
get,
please,
you can't get paid for this.
I will give them all of the business advice for free if they fix the game.
Seriously.
These some guys want to send you pictures online to make up
to make up for you never receiving it.
I'm good.
I'm
just
sorry,
for you know.
I'm good. I mean,
wait,
these people are gonna find out how I'm a New Yorker. You don't want to know how I respond to unadvertised pics.
I think
I'm gonna make you feel bad.
What I missed something. What happened with me?
Oh no, there's gentlemen offering to send Viz some photos.
Inappropriate pictures.
I thought
they can send it to you as well.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can all keep those. Thank you though. It's really, really nice offer, even though it's Christmas. I'm sorry, I'm off camera because I'm smoking and I'm not allowed to do that, so. Can drink though.
Oh, well, that's good because I've definitely been drinking on camera this whole time.
Okay, so to sum up the communication topic, I think our lovely friend CD has the best knowledge about what's going on where, because he is in every room. So this is weird that someone who helps us fix line rooms is like moderator or admin for all Guns of Glory community instead of the game, which is like really something weird, and it should be really changed. That, but I'm glad that someone is able to do that and make something from it, at least.
Love CDs.
Yeah, I love CDs as well.
Yeah, so shout out, thank you for helping us through all of the line communications and all of the things that we do, because the game isn't capable of handling.
Yeah,
yeah.
CD does it better.
Should be handling. All right, are we good? Next topic.
Yeah.
Who's up?
Wants to take it now?
I'm gonna vote Mega.
What?
We've got a topic for you to kick off.
Oh, all right.
I just need to find. Oh, okay.
So
maybe this
route around.
Number 4.
Is that a 4 or a 5?
Which is
it was an S.
4.
Yes, it was an S.
Number 4 was
excuse me.
Guards and Gamble.
Oh my God. I quit. Um, so, oh, Jesus, where do you start with this one? Guards and gambling. Uh, I still would like them to see. They added the S guard automatically with the 30 pulls in the I don't even know what it's called, but I would rather see that in the master recruit. So if there's any way that they are willing to change that to the master recruit, granted, there's only so many dark canyons I need, but
Yeah.
at least that way, master recruit is something that we do daily. So it would make sense that if even for a free player, if they're doing one free pull at a time, after 30 days, hey, you get a free S guard. I
That
mean,
would be lovely.
it would be. I don't know why they put it into the one that you need to spend $30 to pull 5 people. I mean, that literally makes zero sense.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to try and make sense of what they do. I'm trying here to get them to be a little more lenient with stuff. As far as the gambling aspect, not just guards, but I still have not gotten a trident from pulling elixirs from bottles. I am fortunate enough that I am a spender, so getting the trident from the different areas that, of course, you pay for, I've been able to upgrade it there. I haven't done a count. I actually took a video of doing 200 elixir pulls, and I believe I got 5 pieces of equipment throughout the whole 200 pieces. So, going back, somebody said earlier about algorithms. It's definitely set against, um, and I'm not even going to say spenders. I believe it's now set against the more active the player is. I
Yeah.
believe that the more active you are, the least in your favor these algorithms run, as opposed to your farms, because we all know that you pull the trident 3 different times on your farm with 10 elixirs, or you get the brand new guard from free pulls because you know I still say it's to their whole algorithm system is to incite the the farm into spending money
Yes.
because it's you know there's no money coming from this castle. Let's give them everything and make them want to spend money to keep on getting better stuff.
Mm.
As the main castle that you're spending money anyways, let's draw out how much money we can get out of this person before we still never give them what they need. So there's definitely some kind of horrible equation against people that are active because they're forcing you into becoming more active or spending more money just to try and get these things that if I've pulled what I can't think of the actual percentage. I know they give the percentages as far as the pulls, but if I pull 2,000 times on guards or elixirs, I've still yet to get anything I've actually needed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, their
that's
percentages are shit.
yeah.
The percentages are utter shit. You're guaranteeing me something, and it's like, all right, thanks for the Inez frags.
Yes. But
uh,
and that's why I said they need to switch that from again, I can't think of what it's actually called, where it's the
oh,
100 and
that's the star thing. I don't know what it's called
yes,
either because I've literally never done it. The minute I
The
it's
saw
a
it, I
sun
knew.
badges.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
Sun
it.
that.
badges.
I
So
knew
they
what
made
was
it
going on. I was like, nah, I'm no, just no.
so they made the 30 pulls, you get your free S guard. What they need to do is switch that to the master recruit. That would be my first thing to change. And then as far as fixing the other stuff, just keep the same algorithm for everybody because it's obvious that
Yeah.
everybody's different. Even with the packs that was brought up, you get a pack. I don't have that pack. How the hell do you get that pack? I don't know. But everybody, it's all about consistency, and instead of basically everybody gets their own algorithm. Just
Yeah.
keep it the same for everybody. It doesn't matter free spenders. I don't know, but that's my 2 cents. And
Keychain, I really want to hear what you have to say about this.
I'm gonna step away for a minute.
And so I used to make videos about guard pools, and I would pull a bunch of guards, and I would do it over days, and I would piece it all together, and I would break down the rates. And a lot of the time, the rates landed on what they should, but the rates are too low.
Yeah.
The other piece of that that's extremely frustrating is I still don't have Donna. I've spent
Me
probably
either.
10,000
Yeah, I don't.
recruitment banners or more,
Wow.
and I still
Wow.
don't have her.
Same.
And in my inventory of duplicate guards, I have 27 full duplicate guards that I can do absolutely nothing with.
Yeah.
But when I'm facing somebody and they have Bella and Donna, I can't do anything to combat that because I don't have the second piece of the new overpowered guards. Like
Hmm.
the strength level, the difference that they put on these two new
Oh, it's
guards
huge.
is absolutely insane. That, in Musketeers 4 is a perfect example. I lost one the other day and I was like, why did I lose this one? I went in there and they had like 5,000 less stats than me across the board, and I could not find a way to beat them. I went through my entire hour timeout of attacking like 7 times, trying different things, and then I went back at it again later. I like you get 5,000 less stats, and because you have a 1-star Bella and Donna, you can beat me. Extremely infuriating and frustrating.
Yep.
One of the things I think that they are starting to kind of get a hold of is that we want stores rather than
Yeah.
pre-prescribed loot, because the pre-prescribed loot and items don't benefit everybody. The stores allow us to choose.
Hmm.
And I think they need to implement something like this permanently for the guards.
Yep.
And not just S tier, but all tiers. And they
Mhm.
could find a way to do that so that a green guard is worth 1 point, and a blue guard is worth 2, and a purple guard's worth 3, whatever the breakdown is.
Yeah.
And even if it's expensive, that allows me to use the other badges. I don't even know
At
what they're
least
called.
finish it.
I think I have 2 million of the other badges from killing threats and stuff, because what am I going to use them for? Like,
Crazy.
they're only for skill points that I already have enough of
It's all
for a new
maxed
guard.
out.
Yeah. So I think that they need to do something to allow us to trade in these duplicate guard fragments and actually get some value out of them to bring back some value into recruitment
And
banners.
under the old GAR system, we did have that. You could
I
trade
said that in the
in
dev
you could
video.
trade in your duplicates for XP or whatever it was at the time. I mean, we're going back quite a long time. I can't remember exactly what
It's
it was
really
off the
not
top of
that
my
long
head,
ago. It's not
but
that long ago.
it actually went towards your stars as well. So you were still benefiting from the shit cards that you don't really do anything with. Admittedly, you did have to have the same colors, so like you couldn't put blues and greens on a gold. It would have to be a gold on a gold. But it worked really, really well, and I know that back then, like a year and a half ago or whatever it was, I didn't spend anything at all. I do spend little bits and bobs now, but it's purely for the videos and stuff. But most of my guards were leveled up to 5-star from the extra frags, not from my guard pools. So like I might just get one actual gold guard pool, and then not get anything for ages, but then I'll get the same one again, but I would put it towards something else because that would be maxed, and you would literally max one, max the next, max the next. And that option was amazing. It worked really, really well for everybody. Don't really know why they got rid of that because they still could have done that within the new system that they'd set out, and I know it's changed a couple of times even since then as well. But I think that that is when it functioned at its best, and people were the most pleased with that particular part of the game.
I think the developers see us as unintelligent or having short memories.
Yeah.
They constantly do things like this where they do a switcheroo and put a shiny new bow on something and wrap it up and say, hey, this is new, but it's really just rebranded and it's worse. The example, there's a couple, but the guards, they took a system that was great and we liked, removed it by going to full guards without fragments, and now they come back to fragments without giving us back the best part of the fragment feature. KVK store, another example that when it came out, I first saw it and I was like, I like this store, it's great. But when I
And
look
then
at
we
the
did
old
the math.
looking
And
at the
then
old
we did the math.
screenshots,
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh,
me and Paper Matthew had a bit of a public disagreement about the shop. I don't mind it. I know a lot of people aren't going to like me saying that. I know that you need more points, but I also, as an R5 and like a bit of a leader, have a lot of experience of people just leaving troops in buildings and stuff. And I think that this gives added incentive for people to actually play the event, hit that point score, and get those extra 4 badges. I know it's not great. I don't think it was the best way to go about it. I know that it's going to upset a lot of people, and I understand why it's going to upset them. But for me personally, I don't mind it.
I like the store concept. We've talked about in general how like that store and giving us options for what we want to buy for what we need is definitely a more beneficial way to going about a reward scale. So I'm all for that. But people have done the math, and what you can buy versus what you used to get just handed to you on the same tiers of points is difficult. And I will also say um in a rebuttal to your like some people just dump troops. There are also people who literally can't leave the like your mega holder who is in the palace who can't go out for points and is sitting there defending until you go hit another building or whatever. Those people don't go out for solo points. A lot of mega leaders don't go out for solo points because they're sitting there making sure that your own kingdom is secure. They're holding what they need to hold, and hoping for shit to work out and hoping that they can go launch a mega at some point at something. Those people also like don't have the same opportunity for points, and it really sucks that those people are now screwed with points. And from what I've seen of feedback, an average of like 40% less less rewards just because we like giving us an option doesn't mean you get to give us 40% less shit. Like that's
it is pretty
that's
terrible.
shitty. That's really shitty.
Yeah.
The same amount of rewards for like 20% less because we get to we get to pick and choose what we want, like cut certain things down by 20% because you're offering other things that weren't there before. Maybe, but like people who need marquee badges are going after that.
Yeah.
In that store, like I don't care how many XYZ you're offering in stupid shit, like that's what people are going for. So to take away that much of a percentage from players for the biggest event just because you give us an option is again utter shit and not fixing your reward scale. Like it's fixing the option of the reward scale, but it's not fixing the cycle of it, which
it's almost like an illusion, isn't it? It's like and everybody's like, yeah, it's so good, but then when you actually look behind the curtain, it's not so great.
We are a little off the topic because we all have a separate question about rewards you get.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so if I broke, maybe I here's my sense. I am small to middle spender. I spend somehow a couple $100 monthly, and I have Donna on 3 and Bella on 4.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, I know. And I know it shouldn't be like this. May I just say, maybe I kill in 4, and I'm very easily General 3 or this next one, I don't remember. But that shouldn't be like this. It does compensate my stats somehow, but I would really like everyone to have an option to have Donna and Bella on 3, 4, or 5 stars. That would be lovely. So this is my first remark. Second, I would really like to see this previous system when we were building our guards, and it was very simple and it's very doable because we had it, alchemy or something, and you had like 20 fragments to build the card, and then you had 40 to build it on second star, 80 and 160 and 320 to build like to fifth or sixth star. So it would be still very expensive to build the cards on our old system if we were able to pull those fragments from the drawings, and if there was as many cards as in this star system, this paid system, sun badges or whatever it is. If we had such pool, like 3 or 4 cards per 5, we would be able to do it, have more chances to actually have these cards. And now it's it's useless. And I also agree that we should be able to buy, for example, I don't know, 1 card per week.
Yeah,
whatever we want the most.
I agree.
Of everything, I said this to you, Muffin. The fact that I still don't have Gaston Max.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't buy a Gaston the fact that I can't buy Gaston cards drives me up. He's old. Give me the option. I want him maxed.
Yeah, like if you had a possibility to buy 1 card weekly, that would do the job, right? Even for $50 or I don't know, $20.
I would like to see them incorporate that into the main 50% event, so that with your tickets you can buy a guard. They would make 3 guards available for you to buy. You would be able to buy 2 cards of each, not frags, cards. They would be expensive in tickets because obviously God can't give them away for free. So, you're going to expect to pay more. But depending, if they essentially did it that they had 1 old gold guard at, say, like 100 tickets, 1 relatively newish one, say like Aramis, and that around that sort of ballpark for, say, 200 tickets, and then one of the really, really new ones on there at something fucking stupid like 800 tickets or whatever, because you got to think this needs to be in relative of freshness, but also it needs to reflect everything else, so the amount that we're playing for equipment and whatnot. So yes, I know that seems absurd, but really that would be the way to even the playing field. And essentially what you could do with that is, if they did decide to change it where you could use your old guards towards your new ones, like what we used to have, people would start building up a lot quicker. And I think that to make 6 guard cards available to everybody once a month is not a huge ask.
I could have sworn a while ago that was actually something that they did, like with Araba and Lucian was a part of the
Yeah, actually, I think
event.
we did have it like once, and then it just vanished again. Like maybe around the anniversary or something. But
might have been, but I remember specifically that they had guards in the event to purchase. The older guards were in the free one, but the more newer, and I want to say specifically was Prince and Lucian.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, you could get those guide fragments in the event. I mean, we're probably talking 2 years ago, but
Well,
I
I
do.
want to see that come back because I think like from a business point of view, so from Guns of Glory's point of view, they would still make revenue from that. And from a player point of view, it would give us the option on what we want to invest in, but it would also help non-spenders be able to build up, because really what it would come down to is if you're a non-spender playing main event, you're going to have minimal upgrades, which means minimal tickets, but you would still be able to buy the first or second tier, whereas the last tier would be more available towards people that are buying tickets and whatnot and paying towards upgrades and stuff.
I have two remarks to do at the moment. So first, guys, whoever watches it, we don't want this game to be free to play.
No.
Please understand that.
Yeah.
We know this is a business, so we don't want these changes so we could pay less. We just have more fairness or whatever, and whatever we discussed today.
Yeah.
And we don't say give us the shit for free.
We don't want the shit for free.
No.
It's about
Yeah.
closing the gap. A year ago, as a non-spender, I was roughly 3 months behind a spender in stats. So I was still able to compete, but just sitting on the borderline. Now, in retrospect, I'm probably 9 months behind and I'm spending small amounts. In a year, that gap has just widened and widened and widened and widened. And with every update, every increase in materials and the less stuff that's available, the wider and wider that gap's going to get. Spenders will leave because they won't have support during KVK and Raid and all of those sort of events. You need a team. I know there are some people that will just go out there and just fuck people up on their own, but you should be in a team. You need a team, and part of that is catering for everybody.
So my second remark is that bigs, monsters, any monster may actually, hold on a sec.
Bye, Muffin.
Sorry for that.
She's checking in with the monsters.
Probably monsters would agree that they want these changes because
Yes.
they need us as a support. Me as a small spender, and maybe all of you except of Mega are rather small to middle spenders. So they want this change. This is very important. We want this for them as well.
Yes.
And the third remark is I like to refer what Bloodfrost said during our interview a couple months back, that he, as a monster, he is willing to pay no matter money they offer for guard, for stars, for frags, whatever. He just wants to know that it's some kind of a certainty that he actually gets this guard, this Bella or whatever you don't have. I don't have Joanne or Lara, this shitty cavalry guard, which I don't need. Joanne, I think I don't have Joanne still, but I don't care because this is shitty guard. But if I didn't have Bella or Donna, that would make me angry, really. So this was my 3 cents.
I think something else, like just kind of a final kind of like thing to say about this is when they first started introducing these secondary gold guard cards. I say secondary because obviously the boosts on them were so big compared to the other ones. The stat change was big, but not drastically so. But the cards were basically useless until they were at 3 or 4 stars. So people were still forced into using the other cards. With these new ones, you can have them at 1 star and they are massively more effective than the ones underneath them at 4 or 5 stars. So somewhere there, it's not quite right.
So the count in chat said it would be good to be able to send spares to alliance members.
Yes.
So I think like that is like co-signing something that would be awesome. Also, being able to send extra shit to our lower no spenders, to just like to give away our extras, I think is great.
We used to be able to send guard frags. I don't know if we still can, but they were definitely just purple guards. Like it wasn't anything higher than that. I'd have to have a look at it again. to see if they've changed that. If they haven't, then there's an area for that to already be worked on, so might be able to wangle that one.
Yeah, during the call with the developers, I flat out told them that they need to bring back alchemy. It's absurd that they brought back one aspect of fragments and didn't bring back the
other
trading aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I if you haven't watched that video, watch it. If you want me to rant at you some more about the things that I ranted at them at, I'm happy to find my inbox.
Any videos mentioned in here, we'll link them all down in the description as soon as it's over. We'll get Key's video in there, Muffins as well.
So I flat out said that to them. It is absolutely crazy to me that we don't have a trade system. The drop rates, the thing particularly about drop rates that makes me the most angry is that it used to, which everyone's talking about building guards. You used to build guards. All of that worked on an algorithm that was based on what we currently own. So part of the coding worked on what you had in your bag or in your guard set at the moment, and it didn't drop you as many duplicates because you already had that guard maxed. And when they changed the new guard system, they took that part of the algorithm out, and again, now they're trying to take a few steps back and go back to what they used to do, but they're not implementing the things that used to work in conjunction with those part of the aspects. Like, don't give me guard frags if you're not going to account for what I have in my bag, what I need, what I don't need. And like one of the biggest gambling aspect aggravations of people is the fact that it doesn't take into account what we own already. So it's, I mean, I said it to them, I'll say it to all of you. It's really like, of drop rates, the one thing that they can code that for some reason, like, I'm not going to say for some reason, because they're money.
Yeah, they're just not doing
it. They're just not coding in any part of the algorithm to what we own already. They used to do it. They can do it. Them sitting there saying, we'll consider it. We need to try to figure out how to do this. Nope. No, bitch. You had this worked out 2 years ago. It was coded 2 years ago. You can very well pull that chunk of coding
and fucking put it
for
in
the
there.
new shit and implement it back in. It's not as hard as you're pretending it is. So just do it. Just do it.
Duh.
Yeah. Agreed. Definitely.
So yeah, one of my biggest disappointments with the call with the developers was that, like, that in general, them trying to tell me that they like like they're granted there are so many things that they need time for to implement, to figure out, to do different tests with, whatever. There are also other things that you used to fucking have very active in the game that you can literally just go, oh, here's the coding for this. Let me tweak this for a week, put 4 people on it, and then put it right into the next update. It's not as complicated as they try to make it sound to us, which is infuriating because most of us aren't as dumb as they like to think we are.
Yeah.
Next topic, is that what Muffin's trying to
Or anyone has something to add?
I think
Okay.
It's my turn.
Okay, so
That one.
Number 1. Oh, I really wish you had something to connect it to developers meeting, but it's fixing bugs and glitches.
Oh, here we go. So perfect lead from the last one.
Still have so many things to say about bugs and glitches. Jesus Christ. Okay, so a few people might get angry at me for this statement, but this is how I'm going to start it anyway. They didn't fix everyone, but it does seem like this last update really did. Yeah. They really did put a lot of work into Darklands. So
yeah,
they're trying. That's the first thing I can say. We really, as a community across all platforms, really bitched about Darklands enough that they're working on it. I think it's going to take more than one update to really figure out all of the glitches across the board with it to get it to really translate over to most of the public instead of just a bigger majority. Um, but bugs and glitches. There are still so many issues that we have. And one of my favorite terms when it comes to bugs and glitches is quality of life, right? So one of the easiest asks should be quality of life upgrades, and that has to do with bugs and glitches. In the letter to the developers, it was listed as like, this shouldn't even have to be on the list. This is just something that you guys should be working on consistently. There are different bugs and glitches that we talked about intergame communication, the glitches that happen with that. Different skills that don't show up. We talked about chats that don't show up. Well, every time they implement one thing or another, they just create more bugs for themselves. A lot of what I've seen of community response has been that they're just writing over current code instead of just fixing and recoding different things. They're just adding layers and layers and layers on top of what they already have instead of going back to basics and changing what needs to be changed for these different features that they're trying to give us. And it's just creating different breakdowns in the older coding that the newer developers that just had this job didn't work on 2 years ago when it was written in the first place. So it is, to me, bugs and glitches is one of the biggest things that they should be looking at in every update. And like, I got a survey this morning about language, and I wish it was about bugs and glitches. Like, I would much rather you ask me what bugs I'm facing every day rather than like if you use the same terminology twice on different things. Like, I don't care what phrasing you use. I care that you make our quality of life better, just better for when we game. All of the events are, every single event is still riddled with glitches across the board. And like, as a community, we totally understand how much time it's going to take to fix some of those things, or that it's a connectivity issue. But like I said in the letter, when multiple people over multiple continents are having the same issue at the same time, it's not their connection, it's you. It drives me nuts when people, like, when everyone starts complaining to customer service at the same time, and their Zendesk does the whole restart your device, clear your cache, uninstall the game. I'm like, bitch, if I uninstall this game, I'm not reinstalling it. So you might want to give me another option.
Skip button. That's all it takes. Skip tutorial.
I have literally messaged back customer service more times than I would like to admit, when I've been complaining about a bug or glitch, and they've given me some ridiculous response, and I've responded back to them like, if you pick another micro to send me instead of responding to me like a human, I'm going to blast something to everyone I know, and then I'm actually going to uninstall and not install, not reinstall. So can you please speak to me like a human?
Yeah, I had like so in the first test server that they did. I can't remember which one it was for now. It wasn't Uncharted Seas. It must have been
Darklands.
yeah, Darklands, something like that. So I couldn't actually get into the castle, and when I did, it had all the little black boxes, and I knew what the problem was. But I needed their permission for me to uninstall it because potentially they could have needed to send me another code. I was telling them what the problem was and exactly what I needed to do to fix it, but they were more concerned about sending me 20 fucking mails about shit that was nothing to do with actually fixing the problem.
For that.
And it got to a point where I'm talking to like my 7th mod, and I just opened the conversation with, I've done this, 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 and this. This is the problem. I need this to fix it, and I need you to do this. And then I finally got the response like, okay, we need to go back to devs, make sure that it's okay to send you out another code. As soon as they did, it was fine. I got in, it worked absolutely amazing, but it took me 3 days to get on to that fucking server. And I tell you what, I was so mad because I knew that it was just a corrupt file on install. All I had to do was just fucking delete it. That was it. And then reinstall on a secure connection. So that I was very mad about that. I was furious.
Viz didn't want to go to the kitchen for refills anymore.
Exactly what happened.
Why not? Bring it back with you. I know all this talking dries your mouth out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So basically, the developers' response for everything we brought about the glitches was we're working on it, right? They said that they want to focus on Darklands, which I think they did.
I didn't have a single glitch. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, me neither. I had the perfect Darklands. I had yesterday. So, and from what I saw on chats, it's either much better or completely worse. That there were people who started to have problems and never had before. So I don't know what was their issue. Maybe some accidental, but generally speaking, all people in my alliance said that it worked nicely.
Well, it seems that they fixed a lot of the chat issues with Darklands, which I think is part of the major bugs that happen in Darklands is getting kicked from chat. So I always have Darkland glitches. And a lot of it is sometimes it's me switching back from my regular network to my Wi-Fi. But almost every time I would get hit in a building, and then once my mega was hit, if I went to open the chat, I would get kicked out of Darklands. Yep. That was like I went to talk in anything, I couldn't speaker anymore, I couldn't do anything anymore. The second I went to open up any chat, I was completely kicked out. Yeah. So they did fix that for me. This round I didn't have issues for the chat, but the disappearing buildings and the rally lags that we've also experienced across the board with Darklands definitely didn't get better for a lot of people. Disappearing buildings was something that I saw screenshots of in a lot of rooms. So I think that they took a big chunk of the connectivity issues and the chat issues, and I think that they worked on that. But I think they still have a lot of ways to go with the other issues of Darklands. Creed, you had said something about the test server. And this is something that's been said over the ChangeGog chats by a couple of people. It's been feedback that I've heard a lot, so I'm gonna touch on it real quick. With bugs and glitches, a lot of the community just like wishes that GOG before they put out any new change in system or any new crazy changes to whatever events we're playing, that they just did like a quick test server of it. Like UAC, they clearly, after our call, they clearly tried to do something. They told us on the call that they were trying to expand the territory in which you could teleport. Yeah. Like they like announced that, like, hey, this is how we're gonna fix that. And
this is like, what we're doing.
That's not necessarily a good idea. And then they did it anyway. And then it went live the next UAC, and we saw all of these glitches. No one was teleported to the closest spot anymore. No one
Yeah.
would we just had 1,000 new issues, and they could have fixed that. They could have simply fixed that by going, we're trying to tweak teleporting and like glitches in UAC. Do you want to do a test server? And just give us like a 4-hour test of UAC.
Yeah.
And most players are like, oh my God, I get to be on a test server. We're so
Yeah,
excited.
people love it. Yeah.
People love it. Like just pick random fucking castles and just throw them into a test for 4 hours and let the mods do it. Like
Yeah.
let people invite random people to the test server, let them do it, and just see where your glitches are.
Yeah.
And see what's gonna happen game wide before you just fuck all of our event up.
Yeah. I mean, like with the test servers and stuff, when you're playing them, you expect there to be glitches. But when you know what the fix is and somebody isn't listening to you and you're passed between pillar to post, that's when the frustrations begin. Or at least for me anyway. Like I knew it wasn't going to be great. Like I didn't expect it to be amazing. It's a beta test for fuck's sake. But
Yeah.
I think when you're verbalizing to somebody, it's not working because of this, and they're going, have you cleared your cache? Have you uninstalled? And you're like, I'm literally, if you were in front of me right now, I would fucking headbutt you. Like,
Punch you
genuinely, you're
directly
just
in the
like,
throat.
I fucking can't listen to this shit anymore. I'm telling you what the problem is. Listen to me.
Yeah. About Uncharted's and test server,
Mm-hmm.
is it only my impression that they fixed zero issues?
They didn't fix zero. They didn't fix zero. There were a lot of I will stand up for GOG in this moment. There were a few things that happened that they really did. They really did a lot of so people in general, I know it happened in live game, but not nearly as much as it would happen. It was as it happened in the test server. The map was extremely glitchy in the test server.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that had to change. That's true.
Bad.
It was that got a lot better, but like the lag overall for like buildings opening at the same time, we complained about that. I know they fixed it for a lot of people, but there were a lot of alliances in the test server that had research issues. So they were finishing research and then it wasn't reading that they finished research, and then they had to do it all over again. My KVK alliance, which is where we played our Uncharted Seas, I experienced that in K3 on the test server, and then experienced it all over again in KVK 4554. And I bitched and moaned a hell of a lot that it was a bug that they didn't fix that they should have.
Yeah.
And again, like the bridges dropping and everyone getting kicked out and whatever. Like Devil's Keep wasn't as bad as it was on the test server. Like Devil's Keep opened on the test server and like everybody's game crashed.
Oh, it was bad.
It was bad.
Really bad.
The first round of Devil's Keep on the test server was bad. They definitely did take a few things here and there and fix it, but there were massive overall glitches that I don't know, they either completely ignored or was just like, this was just them.
I think most of what they did fix around Uncharted wasn't the glitches, it was the general feedback. So one of the major things
7 weeks? Come on!
That we couldn't place the fort on the other side near the center, which obviously in the test server we could. So essentially, because a kingdom, I'm not pointing names, but because they lost, because they were cut off and got really upset about it, that's the information that was taken from that, and that's what they decided to fix, fucking everybody else in the process. So I personally, I think yes, there were glitches and stuff that were fixed ever so slightly, but I think most of what they tweaked was actually just the appeasing of people to not be moaned at.
So one of the things that this kind of brings into job experience and things like that is normal progression of servers and bug fixes doesn't seem like it's being followed in Guns of Glory. So normally there's a development server and a test server and user acceptance server, different progressive steps where you fix bugs along the way and you retest. And if you haven't fixed the critical bugs, you don't get to go to production.
Yeah.
You aren't allowed to proceed. And I don't think they have anybody stopping them from proceeding. Be like, oh, you have 5 extremely high bugs or vulnerabilities. You have to get those fixed before you can go to production. They're like, but production's in 3 days. Like,
Yeah.
you push it. You push it back a week. You don't go forward anyways. Like, and I think that's a big piece of it. Specifically with Uncharted Seas, I had 11 bugs that I focused on extremely detailed information. It was like a full page of exactly the replication conditions, what it did, how it broke the game, what needed to be fixed. Not a single one of those got fixed before they went live,
Yeah.
because they were focused on other things. But they need to, if they're going to do a test server, they need to take the information and actually fix the bugs before going live. So I think that's a big piece of their problem with bugs and glitches in general, is that they have this set schedule for pushing updates and pushing things out to us, and they don't ever deviate from it. It's very on schedule. Like, I could tell you what the new things are going to be on what days for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
That was like on the dev call when I turned to them and I said, if I know you're coming out with Coat of Arms in 2 months, you for damn sure know you're coming out with Coat of Arms in 2 months.
Yep. So I don't know if that's something that they will ever change. Is, they'd have to add an entire new process to their business that they might not care about.
So from a business perspective, at the end of the day, they've decided to set up a business in the gaming community as a whole. Gamers in general are quite critical, and at the end of the day, these things are supposed to be built up of art. It's supposed to be enjoyable to play. It's the same as watching a movie. You are not going to sit through a shit film. You will just turn it off. And I think that the developers need to remember that people will respond to their game in the exact same way. If they're not getting from it what they want, what they are expecting, what's initially packaged and sold to you, then they will leave and they will quit. And unfortunately, because of the way that this particular game is structured, they will take half of the community with them.
Yeah, my biggest issue with that is like word of mouth in general. I can't say anyone on this call who has recently gone to someone and been like, oh yeah, you know that game that I play? You should come join me. No. Anyone in my life that knows that I play this game, I'm like, yeah, you know that game I play? Don't ever do it. But here's what's going on. And that's their response from most of their community base, is that like word of mouth could like spread and join, and is such a amazing free business tactic to get new people involved in your product. And instead of having us excited and spreading word of mouth to entice people in our lives by our excitement for the game, we will talk about being excited about the game, but we preface it to all of these people with like, don't ever do this. Don't download it. Stay the fuck away. If you ever hear of anyone offering this game, don't just don't do it. It is a money pit. It is stressful. They're terrible. They don't give a fuck about you. I don't know why I'm so addicted. Like that is the community's response to people who do not play the game.
Yeah.
And that is a major issue that they could be fixing that they refuse to. I don't understand why they like why they don't understand keeping us happy brings them more
More
money.
money. Yeah, they don't seem to understand that at all.
At all.
So because we're on like the whole glitches and bugs, I want Meg to say a little bit about like what he's been working on, because I think ultimately it will be quite important a little bit down the road, but it just kind of shows the depths that everybody's going into kind of behind the scenes that people might not realize what's going on, because it's not necessarily important right now, but it will be.
Well, and of course, I offered for you to join me in trying to get the information, and you kind of went a little overboard with writing. Literally, and I showed it in the change room chat. I think, or was it the admin chat? I
It
forgot.
might have
But
been the admin chat.
yeah, literally going through Facebook and writing details of every single update from the creation of GOG. And the idea was as far as going through everything and going through every single area that the game offers. And somebody brought it up earlier, such as like astrologer and the hero store. I saw that recently that they were going to make updates on the Alliance store, and can't remember what the other one was, but uh, shout out to Shadow on the main server Discord that actually made me aware of some of the new stuff that was popping up as far as what I dislike optimizations. Their response to a lot of these things is that things will be optimized in the future. I don't know what that means.
They don't know what that fucking means. Nobody
Exactly.
knows what that means.
It's a cop out.
Yeah.
That's a cop out.
We'll
Like I
get to
said,
it.
yeah, and somebody said, I mean, it's just changing the overall interface of the store itself and not doing any kind of updates to the actual things. That's being, optimizing something. I was going to mention uh, something else, and it slipped my mind. I can't think of what I was going to bring up from before. But some of the other things that we've been working on is literally pinpointing certain areas that have not been updated in years. Like I said, astrologer, the bank, the hero store, where you can still buy the equipment upgrade items
Hmm.
that haven't existed in years. Uh, yeah.
Gotta love GOG.
Yeah. GOG. Uh, that's going to be a running thing this entire live feed, I guess. And of course, I don't have any of the information in front of me, so I'm very forgetful and I can't think of some of the other things. But me, Creed, Muffin, Cynthia slash Sweet Pea. Also, shout out to Cynthia. She had made a spreadsheet regarding every daily free item and how it will basically how many days it would take before you would be able to even create one of the newest pieces. Um, I helped
Yeah.
out with the equipment one for the Sea Dragon, and it was as far as the amount of Crimson Gold that you get, which is only from the Gold event, which runs every other week. You would be able to create your first Sea Dragon equipment in 152 weeks. Uh, so there's, oh, I remember. So my whole thing with the bugs and the glitches, and for us and GOG, is it's a complete cultural change. The lack of consistent updating throughout the game as a whole. I mean, you can throw items and updates and whatnot, but you can't isolate it in just one area at a time. It has to be fluent across the entire game, and that's what they lack in. They
Yes.
only focus on one area, and then, for instance, like what we've been doing with trying to find when the last update was for, the catacombs bank
Yeah.
bank
Yeah.
has been broken since it started.
Yeah.
The I found a YouTube video from 2019 saying that if you do the 1 day, um, you have to do the 1 day.
To get the bigger percentage.
Right, you get
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
105 gold every day if you do the 1 day. If you do the 30 day, you get like half of it, and it's supposed to be even more because it literally says a 50% interest increase. But it's just taking like the 50% of the 1,500 you're putting in and then just giving you half back instead of it increasing daily to make it. I think I did the math before, but it should have been something like 30,000 gold if you're willing to wait the 30-day mark, as opposed to the 5,000 or 4,000 that you actually get.
Yeah.
So it's actually more beneficial doing the daily one, getting 105 each day, and you getting the 30,000, 3,000, 3,000. I'm sorry, 3,000. No. I haven't had enough coffee today, so apologies.
I know it's the morning for you, bless you. Thank you so much.
I
It's not morning anymore. He has no excuses.
It's
Hey,
lunchtime
hey,
now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey.
Man needs feeding. That's what it is.
Just because we're in the same time zone doesn't mean it's not morning for me still.
Yeah, we had like a 24-hour KVK, so
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm just glad everybody
Us too.
waited until I got out of work before I could do anything.
You were great. We did
Yeah.
good.
Oh, well, we got that second kingdom.
So I had a phone call actually, so I don't know where were we, but are we ready with?
No.
I've just got
Okay.
one more. I've just got one more little thing that I want to add on to that. Just following on from what Joe was saying. So really, the idea of going back through the updates over the last 4 years, is that we can keep an eye on the progression, because obviously GOG tells us one thing a lot of the time and does another. So we can actually go back and look at an update that they did 6 months ago and compare to what they're doing now. This is going to be a good way for everybody to keep track of those patches, of store upgrades, and all of this sort of thing. Hey, nice one, Keychain. I'm a little bit jealous. So yeah, this is just going to enable us to be able to keep on top of them, essentially, if we can. You're
Okay.
up, Muffin.
Oh.
Next topic.
Who's now?
You.
Oh, me. Okay. I did it outside the camera, but I chose 7, which is.
Do we need a little drum roll?
Good. That's good. Your view, feedback.
Oh, developer call feedback.
Okay, so really, this is you two ladies.
Oh yeah, that's maybe good.
Yeah, you two ladies can catch us all up on what's been going on.
Well, generally speaking, Viz is writing some sort of a feedback or whatever you work on. I think you'll say your bit here about that. What's my feedback? The whole conversation with developers was, we're working on it. I'm glad that we extracted the promise that the next update will be single, which was surprisingly true. We hope that they will keep the promise that all other updates will be single, which I personally don't believe in yet. I have to see it to believe that they are able to divide the cards or wherever they come in, they mind that will add to the game, will be separate from the new stat items. So this is that part of the feedback. We were losing a couple of times we were losing track, and we were wondering, for example, about UAC transportation issue, which was pointed out that we sacrificed the whole 2 minutes talking about it. So yeah, and we shouldn't have, because this was basically the call about the letter, and the letter was about the poll. So the issues we talk about today, except of maybe communication issues, we already talked about. So we tried to ask the most important questions. We weren't able to ask all of them. You saw the list in my movie, link in the description below. that we tried to cover them all, but of course we weren't able. And they were nice enough to talk with us for an hour and 20. And I think they were giving us an hour or even less. So it was nice that they talked with us longer.
Yeah.
My opinion was that this guy who talked in Chinese, he was a little bit off. I mean, he was, yeah, guys, give me a break. We're working on it. Like, come on. And I had this vibe.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that. Oh God, I'm missing the words. Maybe I'll give you the voice and I'll come back to my later because I have to gather my thoughts.
That's all right, darling.
Yeah.
So from an outside viewing perspective, I watched the whole thing, and I kind of got that same impression that the translator, the guy in the middle, I felt like he was full of crap.
Well, that was the developer manager. So I very much understand that that feeling from them. That was the guy who was speaking Chinese was 100% the developer manager who like can't say much and is just like, sure, we're going to work on it. And then the guy who spoke English was, I think, more from their HR department, who was trying to relate the things in a better way.
Yeah.
To us for sure. But the one who like only spoke Chinese or like mostly spoke Chinese was definitely just, we're doing this. What do you mean? We're going to optimize that soon.
Okay, so it is nice.
Keychain, I'm sorry, continue.
Oh, sorry, Keychain, continue.
Oh, no, I mean, just depending on whether it was him or not, or when he was translating back to things, it seemed like they didn't understand fully what was being asked, or they thought, yeah, we can do that. And this first update seemed like their first attempt at trying to make things better, and I think it was laughable.
I would agree with that.
As far as they made a big deal in the update notes about, you can get more gemstone essence here. Here's 2 spots where you can get all this new gemstone essence. And it's not even enough. It's enough for if 1 month you max both of these events, you can craft 1 new gem. Well, there's 18 gems, guys. Like, they don't understand the inflation piece that was trying to get across. That we, like, when I started this game, when I first started making YouTube videos, I loved this game. I was spending $50 a month. I could stay competitive. You know, I knew I was never going to be at the top, but with smart spending and doing the right things, I was able to be part of the group and be in the top, helping people, guiding people.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, my spending has gone tenfold, and I can't be anywhere near where I was because of how fast the inflation has gone. And sorry, that diverts a little bit away from the call, but I think that passing messages back and forth to them, the guy's like, you know, sure, yeah, we'll work on that, but they don't truly understand how bad it is from our perspective.
Yeah.
So I think that's
a reason why we need to just keep on top of them, keep nagging them, keep making them aware of situations, keep them in the loop with the community, and also keep the community in loop with them. At some point, everybody needs to get on the same page so that their business can keep running, but also so that the community's happy.
Did you ask the question before we started to record, which would be good now? Crit, do you remember? You asked the question.
God, do I? No, that was like an hour and a half ago now. Can you remember what it was?
It was. Do we have any follow-up meeting or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So is there anything sort of like in the pipeline for a follow-up? Like have they mentioned to you how soon they're gonna give you some more feedback?
Oh,
So
I think that might be on me a little bit. So I'm working on feedback from the community as a whole to feedback to them post the call, post this, post whatever. I've asked people in like Discord and or the line chat to at me. Please do so. It is very much a lot of time out of my life to try to scroll through all of the things that you guys are talking about in every chat all of the time. So please, please, when you have actual feedback and things that you need to say, please at me so that I see it. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, and same for Meg and Muffin as well, who are all admins and
Yeah, we need like an admin.
definitely
Just
Meg.
just
He
No,
loves getting mail.
yeah.
PM Mega.
Yeah, totally.
I don't work for GOG. You're not getting free gold.
Yeah, none of us. And that actually, do you know what? That's interesting you say that because I'm gonna fucking put that out there now because I had a snarky comment about how I make profit off of this shit. And I just want to put it out there now that none of us are doing this to make profit. None of us work for GOG, and none of us are doing this for ourselves. We are doing this for you. We put hours and hours and hours and hours into videos, into learning how to do stuff so that we can teach you guys
Benefit
and
you.
pass all this information on. So please don't ever think that the only reason we're doing this is because we're somehow in line with GOG, because trust me, it's not a corporation
I
that
wish to
work
be
with.
paid for this.
Yeah, that would be delightful.
Facts. Facts.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, adminning in the chat. I have most definitely thrown it out there a couple of times, and I'll throw it out there more. I don't get
Yeah.
paid for this. I don't get paid for this. I'm doing it because I am. Yeah, Mega gets 1 crimson gold or something. 4. Oh, 4. I get 0. I get 0 anything. For trying to make all of this work. So through feedback and stuff, please just at me or PM me or anything so that I can make sure that all of it is heard and gathered properly. But in the feedback that I plan to send, I planned on having that done this weekend. I had a lot of personal stuff that made that not happen. So sorry about that. But within the next week, I plan on sending them a whole slew of overall feedback from the community post our meeting, where I plan on asking for another meeting and asking for them to respond with more of a time frame in which they think any of these things can or will be accomplished.
Keychain, are you putting your hand up to speak? Oh, buddy, we're not at school anymore.
I do that too.
It's Vis, just butt in. Don't worry about it.
Go for it, buddy.
I thought about something, and I don't want to forget it because I find that it might be important. Is can we, or do you think that we could, from this meeting or through the line, find somebody who speaks Chinese?
Yeah, we have guys. Yes,
we have a
Okay.
couple.
Yeah.
So
Couple.
I don't like. Obviously, everyone won't be aware of this, but when Viz finished the letter and it was sent off to devs and everything, well before that even, everything, all of the letter was translated into like every single language. And in order
Okay.
to do that, we had to find players from Guns of Glory to dedicate their hard-ass earned time to have these transcripts and to have the letter translated into every language. So obviously within that we needed a Chinese speaker. So we have got a couple.
I
Okay.
also did I in team edit I had recruited a few different people. A few of the people that I recruited for the edit team are people who speak Chinese, to make sure that when it was translated to them, that there were no
Mm-hmm.
what I called like trigger phrases, like that I wasn't insulting their culture
Yeah.
accidentally. through our my abrasive American culture, that I wasn't offending them somehow, or that any words weren't getting completely misconstrued because it didn't, like, an English word might not be a Chinese word. So that was something that we took into consideration when writing, like team edit definitely took into consideration when writing it and putting it together in the first place.
I was wondering too, as far as like the actual, if there's a follow-up meeting, like seeing if that person is comfortable showing up, because you edited out parts where they were talking and discussing in Chinese, but
we could
because
have
those
had
got
our own
edited out,
translator.
Yeah.
don't know.
I was thinking about putting the whole meeting somewhere. I
was also like Muffin and I were talking about how she had recorded, she had done her whole edit, and I have the longer version too. She had said, like, if you want to put the whole long version out, and I just haven't done it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I just haven't done it.
You know, what if, for an example, you phrase a question to the guy, and he turns back to the board, to the developers, and he says,
and repeats it a different way or something like that.
The greedy Americans want us to change this, and they say, ha ha ha, yeah, like, tell them we're working on it, and they're all being sarcastic, but we have no idea.
There was one a very heated conversation. I don't remember in which point, but there was one. So they were basically arguing with each other about something. Do you remember?
Yes, when I asked them if they pay for psychology.
Oh,
that could be it, but I'm not sure. But yes, and the second was our very long talk, and he was basically saying 3 words, and that Chinese dude said 1, and then this guy was translating like a couple of sentences from his 2 words. So yeah, I would really like to someone the Chinese to hear it and what Kitchen says.
Yeah. So if you speak Chinese and you want to hear the whole feedback, someone at me again, please.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a couple extra remarks I noted when you guys were talking. I'm really happy that they agreed to talk to us. This is something we could simply dream about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
During the actual boycotts, because now we're not boycotting, we just have a movement.
Change.
Change. Good change or GOG change or GOG change, whatever you prefer. You have to realize that that this isn't the only call, the only meeting. It's happening in the community. Other players also have such calls.
Yes.
So they do interview players about this stuff, whether it's in writing or in the Zoom or whatever. For example, Harley had one. So these meetings are across the community. You guys remember that this is good change movement. We try to figure out how to communicate with the developers. Thanks, Shadow, for showing up on our chat, on our movie. Thanks, Shadow. So we want you to join our Discord, our line group, whatever is suitable for you guys. So please do so. We have like 1,000 people combined in both those platforms, even more. So you would be just informed what's going on, and be patient, because these changes don't go for overnight. We don't do stuff every day. It's a lot of work behind the scenes, like Mega mentioned, the whole process about the rewards. It's very time consuming. I'm in this group, but I'm not very productive because I'm swamped at work at the moment. But there are many initiatives like this. There's a lot of admin work. So please be patient, guys. Sometimes there's a couple of days when we do like I don't want to say nothing, but you see, it feels like it's not productive. It is productive. We just need time to process some stuff. And to back to our meeting, me and Viz a little bit played by accident the good cop and bad cop situation here. And it wasn't intentional, but I really like that she pushed the stuff to them, and I was like, okay, guys, can we talk? Can we move on to the next topic? Okay. Sometimes it was obvious that they won't say anything more, so it was basically pointless. So yeah, that's it.
I just want to say also, sorry, Muffin, I did forget to mention you on the thing I've been working on with also to Duke as well. Duke is a part of it, and you did do a lot because you took what I didn't put on our list and added to it. So yeah, everybody helps. Everybody does what they can when they can. So it's any of the help that you give and everyone else gives to me. It's not very pretty. I will share some of the things that I have been doing in the line in the Discord group, so more people can help get involved on as part of, as I said before, the cultural change, not just for us but for GOG itself. Um, but yeah, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, I basically done this with this talk. We have 3 more, so whoever wants, I just need to fix me with my power cord.
Count, if you were here, I would 100% make you a mimosa, but you're not. So I'm not trying to be rude. I just, you're just not here to drink with me.
I got coffee. You want some coffee?
You're too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good cop, bad cop. Definitely was fun, I guess, on the call. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I have plenty of shit to say to GOG with how much they're fucking up their opportunity for business with a lot of things. But it was definitely fun to go at them a little bit. I wish that I actually had posted in the change room recently asking for help finding one of the what does she do? I forgot what her actual title is. But I was looking for one of the Fun Plus.
Muffin, turn your mic off.
I was asking for one of the Fun Plus people who like handle entertainment and like our end of stuff, and they're actually out of the San Francisco office. So I was trying to figure out how to get in touch with them, their email, that kind of stuff, so that I can help aid with feedback, trying to reach out to the right parties in my home language to be able to get some of that situated for us. And I will try my hardest to get any follow-up meetings done through San Francisco. I think it's San Francisco is where their office is. To also have someone from the San Francisco office on any future calls so that I feel like they are hearing us. Through the dev call, I will also say, I mean, she's off, like completely muted and whatever right now, but shout out to Muffin. I just want everyone to be aware of the fact that she woke her ass up at 3:00 in the morning to get on that dev call with everyone to make sure that everyone's voices where it was heard, and that she could help push all of the correct topics. And when we finally got like 36 hours prior to it actually launching and them officially acknowledging the fact that we were going to be on the call, they were like, how does this time work for you? And Muffin was like, that's 3 a.m. for me, fine.
yeah, whatever. Like,
little round of applause for Muffin.
So anyone who has anything to say about like how she acted, what she said, I just want you to think about how you would have acted or spoken at 3 o'clock in the morning your time, and before you try to judge anything that happened.
Oh, so there was a talk about me when I had to go for my
No.
cable cord.
No, I was just saying that you woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning for that call.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, shit, my computer is dying. I need to go get my.
Yeah, exactly what I was doing like a minute
Yeah,
ago.
sorry. These calls do tend to go on a bit, and obviously once the live's finished, I'll put some markers in for people can just skip to the sections that they want. And we'll get everybody's links down in there as well. So have we got one other topic, is it, that we've got?
We have 3 more.
Oh, right, okay, well, let's get our butts moving then. Shall
Who
we
wants
do...
who wants to take which one?
Oh, well, Keychain, everybody loves hearing your lovely voice, so let's let
Keychain.
Keychain take a topic, yeah, for sure. Which one?
Middle one.
Hey,
Middle one.
he's a
Okay.
middleman.
Number 3. Yeah.
There it is.
Number
Boobs.
3 is improve rewards. Basically, we talked about it a lot, but
We've kind of covered this one already.
Go crazy.
But,
Yeah, we've talked
so
a
many
lot about
examples.
rewards, yeah.
Throughout the call, we've talked a lot about rewards, and to summarize or come back to it through different pieces. But examples would be with the most recent update, the crafting a basic level gemstone is 1.7 billion gemstone essence. Doing an upgrade, I think somebody told me it was 4.3 to go from basic to, does it go basic precious or basic flawless? I don't remember what the order is.
Oh, I never remember, sorry.
So out of all of the upgrades, as a free-to-play player, you would basically not even be able to craft the basic gems before the next set of gems comes out 6 months from now. And that's a huge piece of what is unreasonable about the current rate. And I think personally a reasonable expectation, and maybe I'm too ambitious, maybe I'm a little greedy towards the player side, but by the time a new gem is released in 6 months, a free-to-play player should be able to get to at least rare across the board.
Yeah.
Not taking into account epic and legendary, but rare. 2 steps down from the current max before something new comes out. I think that they should be gauging on that. And I think that's reasonable. I don't know if I'm too ambitious, or maybe I'm looking for too much, but 18 gems to get to rare with the new system is something like 1.4 trillion. Like how when you're getting 500 million from a new world, do you ever expect to get anywhere near that amount of gemstone essence? So
yeah, you're not going to be able to do it. I think, I don't know if it was my last video or the one before last, but I talked a lot about like the percentage increase on materials and stuff, and I just kind of went over a couple of the basic things because I just wanted to make people aware of why we're kind of doing this, because it's all well and good having these upgrades now, but what are they going to be like in a year's time? How much materials are we going to need then? Because at the moment, most things are on about a 2000% increase on materials, and that's kind of across the board. I mean, it does vary a little bit, and people can go back and watch that last video if they missed it, but it is ludicrous, and the amount that it's going to keep going up, even the big spenders are not going to be able to keep up with it. It's not just drowning out the free players and the low and mid spenders. It will also really start to impact the big spenders, and this is not good. This is the community as a whole. It's everybody needs to be catered for.
yeah, even looking at that and recently adding up the pack values and looking at how much does it cost for a single upgrade from basic to the next level, and it was almost $200 for a single upgrade. And we're like, you want me to spend $3,600 to upgrade these gems to the next tier,
It's
and
actually
that's
disgraceful.
yeah.
It is
I just
disgraceful. They're I don't want to use the word preying, but they're taking advantage out of people, and it's not acceptable.
yeah.
Praying
So
is a good word.
it is, and I've made a comment the other day, where people are asking, why is everybody still doing this? Why are people still spending? And it may be a little extreme, but it was, GOG is the game and their dealers, and GOG is the drug that we're all hooked on.
Some people are massively
We're
addicted.
addicted.
Yes.
It is an addiction. It's whether you're addicted to gambling, whether you're addicted to spending money, whether you're addicted to gaming or just socializing in general. Most people have played for this length of time because they have an amount of addiction to the game. For me, I love coming on and just chatting to everybody. Like
Yeah,
I have a
community.
massive social life outside of GOG, and I quite like because I'm a massive gamer. Well, I say massive gamer, like I'm a big console gamer and stuff. When I'm not playing GOG, I'm on the console. Like I'm never not really playing a game unless I'm working. I'm always doing something. But for me, the thing that I lack on console is being able to talk to community because girl gamers, grills, whatever the fuck, we get a lot of shit over console. So we just will mostly not fucking talk, like I do every now and again. I've got a couple of like clans that I'll play with, and that's fine. But as a rule, like girl gamers are still like, oh, it's a girl. So this is a community where we actually can be, yeah, mega seriously, like it's a fucking another world. Also, I just have to, there is a YouTube video out there, and it is literally called "Oh My God, a Girl," and it is a girl gamer. She's absolutely fucking amazing. She plays COD and stuff like that, and it's like her experience of being a girl gamer and the shit that is said to her. And I tell you what, the video is fucking hilarious. So like, find that out, give it a watch, because it just shows you a little bit of the shit that we deal with on a daily basis. I can laugh at it because I genuinely do think it's funny, but we get kind of shunned from those sort of communities. So to be able to come into GOG, be anonymous, most of all. I know we're choosing not to be, but it's a choice, isn't it? A lot of women will play as men so as not to get harassed, but also be a part of the community. And actually, it's the same the other way as well. You get a lot of guys pretending to be women. We all know that that's fucking rife in the game, so you got to be careful
Oh
when you're
man,
setting up internet dates, guys. but
I've played. Oh, sorry. I was like, I've played other games where if you pretend to be a girl, people give you free stuff. Like they just want to give you free stuff all the
No.
time,
I've
and
No.
never had any free shit as a girl.
I was
Well-
just gonna say, where are
Well-
these people?
I
Because
want
am
my free stuff.
I don't need to pretend. I am very
Well-
much a female and definitely don't get free stuff.
well, Guns of Glory, right? You'd have to actually purchase it, but in a typical MMO, you're allowed to trade things. You're allowed to
yeah.
give gold and items and gear and things like that. And it's like, hey, I just started, and people ASL. You're like, oh, I'm a girl and I live here, and they're like, here, come join my party. We'll get you some free gear. It's
Yeah.
So
That's
Chose
true,
the wrong
actually.
game.
That is true. Yeah. I
Chose
can't
the
remember
wrong
what game it was. It was it might have been like After Dark or something like that. It was a zombie game, and the community were very much like that. Like, I remember the first time I come on headset and started sort of like playing online with other people, and they were just chucking guns at me and armor and stuff, and I'm like, do you think I can't go get this shit myself? Like, I'm actually offended that, and it's always fucking pink guns. I don't just because it's always pink. I don't fuck off. uh,
Just a heads up because this is from the spreadsheet that Cynthia made up.
mhm.
As far as gemstone essence, with the newly updated New World rewards, to max your rewards, you can get 510 million gemstone essence from New World. You can get 224.4 million from Guard Treasure Hunts. I can't even think of what that is off the top of my head. and 110,000 from the mining loot
Oh,
store.
Guard Treasure Hunt is the one where you send
New
them out.
thingy.
Yeah, and they come back with you get essence and the powder.
It's done. It's done in your
In
build
Forge.
equipment building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
in
the
Forge.
one that
Nice
you
and Forge.
can
Oh, okay,
send
yeah.
all now. I like these shortcut buttons, by the way. That is
Yes.
a good move on
The,
GOG.
but as far as the thing that hasn't been updated in a while is the 110,000 daily from the mining loot store.
Yeah.
Oh, what a surprise! Oh my God, they didn't update what
Yeah.
we are supposed to be collecting on a daily basis.
Yep.
Of course not.
Maybe you haven't checked this. Maybe they did.
Oh my, that made me so angry. So okay, so Muffin can attest. I don't think anyone got actual video, but Muffin can attest to the faces that I made during our call when they tried to tell me things like, maybe you didn't notice because we didn't announce it that we updated this.
Or
Like we
maybe
don't
you
play
should
it
have
for
announced
12
it.
hours a day, yeah.
That's another thing I don't like is the little patches in between updates that nobody knows about, but you can.
I don't mind the patches. I don't mind. Don't sit there and try to tell me that we haven't noticed what you've done.
Yeah. Usually we know the first day, really.
Like,
the community is so awesome that we have to dig it from the community. And we usually know everything on a day one, but from the community, not from the messages inside the game we should have.
Yeah, which it literally is what set me off on a rant to them about how intercommunication is such shit. Like, do you not understand that we spend several hours outside of game on a daily basis talking to each other about all of these things because you don't tell us? And we want to make sure that the rest of the community knows that you just fucked us in a whole other way. Like, oh, hey, by the way, KVcation, we're fucked now. So you might want to do this, that, and the third. Like, I can't. Them telling me that we just haven't noticed made me roll my eyes, I think, harder at them than I have at an unsolicited picture anytime recently.
Your mimosa.
Nope, she's good.
Is that number 3 or number 4?
We're on number 3.
Who's counting?
No, we're talking about
Ah, this one.
I think
there's still champagne in the bottle.
Oh,
so.
there you go.
There's a bit left in there. I can't remember what the fuck I was gonna say. Right, what's our next? Key, did you get everything out that you wanted to say, buddy?
Yes, sorry, I interrupted you and you're in the middle of yours, and then we went way into the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Why not? Why not? This is the life of GOG, isn't it? Falling down fucking rabbit holes.
So I just want to include that the things that we've been doing, working on the side, is exactly for these reasons.
Yes.
It's the like I said, the umbrella for every time that they update something and expect us to pay more, they have to do their job and update every single area that is included with that. So the simple fact that in order to basically even create one of these new gemstone pieces, you have to wait almost an entire month between getting all the rewards from New World and the guard treasure hunt.
Yeah.
And the 110,000 from the daily store and the mining.
Because the thing is, as well, is like they're not just asking people to invest money; they're asking people to invest time.
Yeah.
I don't know which is more insulting.
But it's the breakdown of the spreadsheet that I have is quite literally for every piece of material.
Yeah.
How long it will take for you to even create one of these. And by the time you can even create one of these, you're already 3 months behind because the next set is already out and about, and it's just ridiculous. So that goes with the rewards being updated. If they're going to do an update and they want to keep throwing us new items, they have to do their job and make the updates so we don't have to spend
Yep.
$20,000 to make max 18 R11 gems.
I.e., if they bring out a new gemstone, they also need to increase the materials in stores.
Well, this is what I said in the call about a habit forming product um and the reward scale being a fourth of that infinity cycle. So basically, if you don't have a close enough reward scale to incite more spending for the next level, you completely fuck yourself out of continuing a cycle of people staying addicted. And our reward scales are so fucked, like everywhere across the board. They're just so fucked that we can't no one can keep up. It's been part of the reason that the stat gap is so big, and all of it is so interconnected that, like, when an update happens, reward scales need to be updated for those, and everything needs to coincide with the next.
Yeah.
So that when the next comes out, we're all in the same place. So they have to. One of the biggest things, personally, this is my personal opinion, not as an admin, not as anyone, just as this. One of my personal things that I would really love to accomplish out of the change movement is to get the to get a new set of guards as its own month.
Yeah, Joe's like, what? No more guards. No more guards.
I want new guards to be their own month in the update cycle. I don't want them to be an addition. If you're coming out with new guards, they should be their own focus for that month. They are quite the spend. They are quite, like, you have made guards as important as curiosities, airship parts, equipment, even more so. The fact, my cat is hanging out in the background now. He's gonna end up being on the back of my chair at some point.
If you don't have the counter guards to whoever you're fighting, you're fucked. So they're even more important than anything, really, because you can have not as good stats as long as you've got the guards there. It's not even just about the stats in themselves, but what the guards do with the skills and stuff.
So one of the things that I, like, really want to happen out of the change movement is that when they decide to come out with a new pairing, they make that the update for the month. I don't want a new guard pairing in with new equipment. You can literally suck my left nut for that. I can't. Mega space. Left, right, center. I don't care. Pick one and suck on it hard. It's absolutely, like, the fact that the newest guards came out, that both gambling aspects came out at the same time, was probably one of the most infuriating things to people.
That's why we have the movement.
Recent months. Yeah, like, how dare you make me gamble on guards and gamble on equipment at the same time? So I like that is one thing in particular that I really want to see with updates and slowdowns and rewards is that they make that new guard section actually its own section and its own focus for us, because it's not secondary anymore. So stop treating it like a secondary spend.
It's not.
It's
not. Actually a main focus now.
Yeah, it is. When they mucked around with airship, that's when guards pretty much became the most important aspect of the game, I think.
And we remember what happened with Bloodfrost after.
It's disgusting.
It's to the point where he quit for however long it was but that's just how ridiculous the gambling aspect is and
I
how
completely
important.
understand why he was so
Yeah,
angry about
it
that.
was
And
something.
like, and
Yeah.
he was livid. He was livid. He quit. He tried not to quit. He tried to come back, and like, not for nothing, he's still not in a place like where he wants to continue anymore. Like Keychain said earlier in this video that he's like not trying to do this anymore. I'm sure all of us, every single one on this call, anyone who's in the comment section has had these random thought processes. Like, none of us want to keep doing this for an absurd amount of money,
Yeah.
when it isn't fun or competitive anymore. And it's not fun because of the bugs and glitches, and it's not competitive because the reward scale and the stat difference is so big that we can't even enjoy in between them. When the glitches don't fuck up our game, the stat differences do. So like, we can't, like, it's not the game that it used to be. And
yeah,
in general, like, once you get the taste for quitting in your mouth, it's really hard to rinse out, and it's really hard to get yourself back in.
well, yeah, and also I
overall.
think when people start to make the social steps in real life and pull away from the game even just a little bit, it actually gives them the encouragement that they need to come away from it altogether. Like, once
Yeah.
you start actually living again, because obviously balance is a fucking really hard thing to find with this game. I think a lot of people at that point are just like done to a
This is
degree.
breaking the cycle.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Just to come back to materials and stores, I do think that one thing that they do really need to focus on, and that would benefit everybody, is if they added more levels in on the expedition, because this way, obviously, to get through expedition, you have to have a certain amount of whatever it is of that day. Say, let's just use research as an example. So you have to have, I know it's terrible. So you have to have so much research, and also I think that comes down to glory banners as well, doesn't it? The research one's heavily glory banner setted. But obviously the further you get through, the more you open up, the more that is available to you in the shop. That would keep the balance between low castles and high castles, because low castles still wouldn't have that available to them until they became a high castle, if that makes sense. So if they put more of these materials into the store, so essentially they would put more levels into expedition, you'd have to have more of the stuff to make that available to you, but then that would in turn put more stuff in the store that would be available to other people, which would put the balance back in on being able to gain the materials.
Yeah, this was what I said like an hour ago or something, that we don't want stuff for free. Expedition is a hard work.
Yeah, it's
we
bloody
have
hard
to
work.
Yeah, we have to accomplish some goal to have these rewards, so that is reasonable. Actually, we don't want just empty clicks and
Hello,
crappy
Paper
rewards.
Matthew.
Hi Matthew. So this is very good remark, but yeah, basically to increase these rewards, I counted 37 places where I wanted to see better rewards based on mega spreadsheet we're working on at the moment. So I would like to see.
Somebody brought up a really good point, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but I don't play both games, but some other people do play both games. Matthew being one of them, who just
Kings of
happened to show
Avalon.
up.
Oh yeah, KOA as well, yeah.
And also Eminem, but the stats in Guns of Glory have passed KOA.
Yeah.
We would just
So
destroy anything in KOA.
KOA reports. Do you guys remember what our old reports used to look like?
Yeah.
Sort of.
So that's the reports that KOA still work off of now, more or less. They still have very similar setup in stats like what we used to have. So instead of the airship, they've got the dragon and stuff. But the way that the reports and the stats are figured out is very much how Guns of Glory used to be 2 years ago. I think actually, as of about 12 months ago, the two games should not be compared anymore. They've gone in completely different direction. And yes, I understand that Guns of Glory has surpassed Kings of Avalon, but I believe the reason for that is that Guns of Glory community put a lot more pressure on the company than the KOA community. There's more change. Things are being changed a lot more rapidly because we are quite hard to please.
But in rebuttal to that, I feel like what State of Survival, is that what the other game is called?
State of Survival.
They get way more than we do. Like, we are the middle child in comparison.
The worst.
We're worse. They got the Joker.
Well, aside from things like that, like they get a lot more FaceTime with the developer team than we do. They get a lot more attention in their bugs and glitches on a frequent level than we do. And I'm not really sure why.
Better to say we're not the middle child, we're the redheaded stepchild.
Yes.
What isn't the difference between the games is that KOA and Guns of Glory are both Fun Plus, but State of Survival is actually done by King's Group, the parent company, and it's not published by Fun Plus. So
It is now.
Oh, it is?
It is now.
Okay.
I only know this because obviously because of all of this has come about, I was digging around on their actual webpage, and it is on there now. It's on the King's Group as well. So I don't know if it's a recent affiliation, if it's an ongoing affiliation, or if it's temporary. I can't shed any light on that, but it is now affiliated with their games.
Okay, so who wants to do this stuff?
Go on. I'll do one.
Guys?
What we got?
Guys?
The right,
Creed.
please.
This?
No,
Which one?
Creed.
I'll go for the one on the right, Muffin.
This?
Yeah.
Okay, this is. It may be about the meeting. Actually.
Oh well,
yeah.
if it is, then that'll be you guys.
So it's a meeting with devs comment, which we basically covered with the feedback.
Okay.
So we may skip it, and you
Cool.
may.
Let's go to the other one.
The last one is number 2, which is number 2. Slowdown updates.
Oh god. Yeah, okay, so obviously we've mentioned a couple of times, I went back through the entire back catalogue of Guns of Glory updates, right back to day 1 to the most recent update. You're all gonna fucking hate me for this. The updates are not any more frequent. They have been the same, roughly the same time between them since the very beginning. So when I did go through everything, I wrote down all the dates, what number the update was, and exactly what that update consisted of. And if any of you guys want that list, like just message me. I'm happy to forward it on to people. So yes, the updates traditionally are once a month. Generally, every once a month, a new item will be released, whether that's equipment, gems, guard weapons, whatever it may be. It has been consistent across the board. Where I think they need to improve on updates is not so much slowing down the releases, although I do believe that needs to happen. But I think that they need to start updating in a way of concentrating on actually fixing the broken stuff rather than introducing new things. I think anything that hasn't been updated in a year probably doesn't serve a purpose anymore and can probably just do with getting rid of. Or altered and incorporated into something else in a different manner. Yeah, that's it really on that sort of topic, I'm afraid.
Okay. I'll jump in on this one because I'm passionate about this one. So one of the things that I've noticed, and I agree that the major update cycle has always been the same. It's always been the 28-day cycle. The difference in the last 6-month cycle was that the mid-cycle patches used to be
Patches.
more
Just patches.
optimization, update, things like that. Whereas now, the mid-cycle update, the 14-day cycle, they've been adding major features or major new spends. So it's essentially cut in half the major spending pieces of updates. So even if they're just sneaking things in, like a new pay-to-win guard, they put that in the mid-cycle, or the university, they were originally putting that in the mid-cycle, but then they kind of canceled it and waited 2 weeks. But they've just continued to add things that need their own update. So if they'd taken the last 6 months with all of the new things they added, that actually belongs in a year.
Yeah.
So things like the university and the mermaid and the guard skills, or not guard skills, but troop skills.
Yeah.
All of those things needed their own, and it should have actually been spread out over almost a year. And in between is when they need to focus on the mid-cycle updates. If they can't do it all at the same time, be like, okay, we did gems. 14 days later, we update every single gem store to be appropriate with where it needs to be, and we fix these bugs. So they do all of these things, but they need an actual part of their cycle in the mid-cycle to be, we're fixing bugs only, we're not introducing anything new, and we're updating things to be appropriate. And that's gets a full 2-week focus in between these major updates. And I think they need to get more in line with, major update, fix optimizations, player free to play type updates, and then they can keep doing their major releases as long as they stagger it and keep everything going, updating and fixing and doing that type of stuff. So I think, okay, rant over. I think I've got everything.
Sure.
I think
sure.
so.
Got anything else? Got anything else buried deep down inside? I think it's something we're all passionate about because it does it affects all of us. I'm really struggling at the moment. Like as a yeah.
Creed, let me in on my cell phone.
Oh, okay. Request.
Okay, thanks.
Do request again because I closed it. So I thought why she's there, I can see her.
Okay,
It's not coming up.
continue.
Okay, I can't remember what I was saying now. This is the problem. Right, have we got any well, firstly, like, do any of you guys have anything else that you want to say that is not like on topic but relevant?
Well, about updating things at one time. I
Just
always have things to
everything,
say.
just everything in general. Like, it doesn't have to be update based, but like, is there anything that we haven't covered that you think is important and worth sort of making people aware of?
Yeah, I have one as well.
Yes. Yeah, Muffin, you can go first.
Yeah, I have a feeling that when I observed the community throughout the years, there was never such I'm missing the wall. Like all people want to live. They are really discouraged from what they see today in game, and there was never like that before. I always thought that what's in that point, for example, 2 years ago, was the worst. Then it was another 6 months, and another 6 months, and it was the worst. And now I basically see that almost all monsters say that either they quit or they slow down. So we basically have couple max players in the entire community because they don't want to keep up when the whole community is not able to keep up. Like I noted that I'm not even touched. I'm a small to middle spender. I even haven't touched lieutenant positions, barely touched new academy. I haven't touched troop skills, and I'm not buying research books because I simply cannot afford that. And I wish to focus on those stats, but I just need to focus on basics. And this is very frustrating because there's not enough of time and money to do so. And big monsters feel that as well, and this is sad because it should be at least the game for them, but it's not for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So,
people leaving is like a major problem, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of leaving.
Touching on that, I feel that same kind of sentiment throughout the community, that when I first started, all of my comments would be positive, asking questions, me helping people, me, positive comments. And then it's slowly become more neutral. And then it's the last 6 months, all of the comments that I'm replying on videos and things are mostly negative, mostly people quitting, or I've quit, or I'm unhappy with things, and I agree with them. So that's also a negative piece for me, is whereas the YouTube piece used to be really positive and going to check the comments was fun, and it was a fun, positive experience, is now a negative experience. Responding to the comments and seeing all the negativity is like, yeah, I agree with you. At a certain point, I stopped trying to encourage them and reassure them that things were going to be okay. It was like, well, I agree with you. Like they don't actually care.
Yep.
And lately, that's what it's been, is negative comments with me responding in a negative way, and there's not much positive centered around the channel and the things that I actually want to say. So I definitely feel what Muffin was saying, that it's really negative around the community right now.
I have exactly the same experiences as you, really. So when I first started doing the videos, I actively wanted to make positive, funny, sort of like interactive videos that people could learn from, but also I wanted to inject my own sort of personality into there, because a lot of the videos at the time when I first started doing it were just battle videos. There wasn't really a lot out there of. I know Muffin did her videos, and she was probably one of the only YouTubers that actually really explained how to do certain things. And Juggaroo, I don't know if you guys remember Jug when he used to be on the YouTube circuit, but he was one of the other ones that did sort of informative videos. But I'm finding it actually really difficult to be able to put the content out that I want, because it just doesn't exist at the moment. And I find that I do have videos that are a lot like Gonmu's, in the sense that I will just have a rant, because
Don't do it.
my videos are always meant to be my videos are always meant to be reflected of the community. And if the community is negative, and the feedback that I'm getting from the community is negative, not about my videos but about the game in general, then that's the content that I'm covering. And I do find myself actually getting sick and tired of listening to my own voice sometimes. So I have started doing battle videos and stuff, which I never did before. They take a really long time to edit. It's a long time to go through footage. Don't actually feel like that's not the content that I wanted to make. But I'm having to go down that avenue because you guys seem to respond to it a lot more. But also it's to break up the negativity on my channel. I don't want every video to be grr, oh, this is shit, this is shit, this is shit, because actually Guns of Glory has a lot of really amazing aspects, and the community being one of them. And that is what I want my main focus to be. I do want to draw away from the negativity, but I understand that I can't do that until the game has moved on from that itself.
Yeah, this is basically why well, the one reason why I switched a little bit from making these informative videos, because, well, one is that most of the topics are covered by someone, by me or by you guys. And I focused on the interviews or on social aspect, for example, migrations, because it's something we can provide to the people. They want to listen to it. They want to watch it. Battles as well. I was criticized for joining 33 because I was perceived as content chaser. which was, of course, not true.
Well, everybody's gonna love to know that I'm in 273 then.
Right. Right. Yeah, we can't wait to see
I
that.
have a castle there
So-
too, for the record.
Oh man, join the crispy army.
I'm in BOA. I did my first KVK with them yesterday. I was multitasking. It's really hard trying to do two kingdoms, I've got to say. So I'm gonna have to find some balance with that somewhere. But yeah, it's good.
I am never in my 273 castle or 273 castle, but I am there.
Yeah.
So speaking to some of the quality aspects of Guns of Glory, kind of a unique perspective is as I'm talking to some of the game companies and other game companies who are looking at potential sponsorship and trying to steal me away from Guns of Glory.
I've had a couple offers as well.
When I load these other games and I start playing them, they're not as good.
No, I agree.
And that's a huge problem. Is in the last 2 weeks, I've downloaded and tried probably 25 different games, and I get 5-6 hours into them, and I'm done with them.
Yeah.
So we're still the best game and on the market.
And
I
don't
think
know
so.
if it's...
I think so. No, genuinely, I think the only thing
Yeah.
that drops the ratings down in the Play stores is the negative feedback, and then the negative feedback obviously has a knock-on effect on downloads. But actually, Guns of Glory for a strategy game, what it offers, even just having like the little RPG moments and stuff like that, it really does set it apart a lot from other games. It really, really does.
Well, I've heard from 33 top people that our game has amazing graphics, which I don't know because I'm not playing other
It
games.
does. It
But
does. The graphics are outstanding for a mobile game. And as long as you've got the device to back up the graphics, then everybody will have a good perception of that. But I think when you play a lot of computer games, it's easy to see what a lot of time has gone into making something and what hasn't. And Guns of Glory, although they get a lot of shit, their artists and their coders and stuff, they do put a lot of time into their work. They take pride in their work, and I think that's something that we all actually need to understand as well, is that when somebody has spent weeks or months designing a section for the game, actually trying to have that removed is really, really difficult because somebody owns that. It belongs to them. That's their work. The likelihood of them removing that is very, very slim.
Back to you, Keith.
Sorry. Us fucking women.
It's all right, Key. I got you. Don't worry about it.
I just looking at things like graphics and even the way that things are progressive as far as like updating and things like going through. I know that our tutorial has gotten kind of away from what the actual game is, but some of these other tutorials, after I've done a tutorial for some of these games, I have absolutely no idea how to proceed, how to move forward. One of them yesterday, I couldn't even figure out how to do to start a level. I was clicking everything on the page. I was like, it doesn't show me how to start the next thing. I have no idea where to go. It doesn't tell me what the requirements are. It doesn't tell me if there's prerequisites. I was just like clicking every single building to find it. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with it. But it really is still a good game, and I wish that they would make the changes to keep it that way so that it doesn't degrade into what these other games, maybe these other games were good 5 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and they just never updated things and they didn't stay. They just got this same cycle of start positive, start really good, and then it slowly declines over time until they just try and keep it alive. I wish that they would make those changes before it's too late, because I've seen this spending cycle in other games where as they make changes, the bigger spenders leave, and rather than make changes to figure out why they left, they increase the spending to try and keep the revenue the same with less
but it
players.
doesn't work. It doesn't work.
and
Yeah.
then they keep squeezing the existing players to try and keep the revenue level the same. It's like, well, you had 1 million players and you were making 10 million a year,
Yeah.
but now you have 750 players and you're trying to still make 10 million a year. And then next thing you know, you have 200,000 players and you're still trying to make 10 million a year. Well, there's a cycle there that needs to be broken, that they need to
Yeah.
figure out before it's too late.
It's like stretching out a piece of blue tack. Like it will keep going, but eventually it's gonna break. You can't keep stretching us all to our upper limits. People will leave. They have the only investment really that they have is in the money that they've spent, and if they are sure and fixed on not spending any more money, then that's an easy thing to walk away from. Does anybody have anything else that they want to put in, like whether it's related or non-related or just, general game chit chat?
So ultimately, like I said, as far as everything that we're trying to do right now, and we're trying to get GOG to kind of come on board with, is we're not asking for a lot. We just want to take the things that they're doing and keep it more balanced and make it a better game. I mean, like you said, I mean, they're adding more stuff because they want to keep the same revenue, but we don't have the amount of people that were doing all of that as they're going away. Unfortunately, instead of them adding the new things, it should be them fixing why the people are leaving in the first place. And I don't know if they got to the level where even the people that left may come back because the bugs and glitches were fixed. They agreed to, you know, keep everything on the same level throughout every aspect of the game to make it more playable, then it wouldn't even be a concern of them needing to drown us with every spending event that they're doing. And like he said, you know, the balance of, drop the new item but don't stick, the Imperial University, the lieutenant guards. In their mind, they're doing what we're asking, but in our mind, we're saying you're just trying to fuck us.
I have a
and
question to
all,
all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, continue.
Go ahead.
If that game was somehow better, and if they listen to our voices, would you spend less, more, or the same?
I'd
You as a
probably
player.
spend more.
More.
Because the reason why I curb my spending is because it doesn't matter about the small amounts anymore. It literally makes no difference. It's a drop in the ocean, as it were.
So
I
this
think
more,
I would spend more.
treat more, kitchen.
Key,
For me,
if you thought that
Yeah.
spending 50 quid was gonna catch you up to the top guy, would you spend it?
Well, maybe not the top guy, but somehow.
Relevant.
yeah.
Well,
Being somebody
Um,
relevant.
so let's see. How do I phrase what I'm going to say without pissing people off?
Don't worry about
um,
pissing
Yeah,
people off.
seriously.
Like at the end of the day,
we covered that part.
whatever
I
your
guess
opinion is, somebody else will have the same opinion, and that's
Of
why
course.
there's so many of us. I think is important.
so. I guess at this point, I guess it's fine for me to be candid and say things, but I haven't spent any of my own money in this game for the last year and 3 months.
Yeah,
So for me, I think my spending stays the same regardless because I have to spend what is
is available to you.
allocated or given to me as part
Yeah.
of contractual agreements. So
Mhm.
for me,
It's the
it's
same.
kind of it's gonna stay the same.
Yeah. Meg, what
And
about
Mega?
you? If they fixed everything and actually did what we were saying, do you think your spending would go up or down or
Well,
stay the same?
when we first started this part of the GOG community, I had already shifted probably to 80% less spending than what I was doing. Um, because, and I commented this before, I mean, if they don't fix how the things are, the only other option I have is just quitting the game. But
Yeah.
as, I mean, so if everything was to get fixed and we were back to the way things were kind of before, not trying to reminisce on anything, but the playing field was a little bit more balanced, I would probably just because end up spending more again.
So this is our message to Guns of Glory. We want to spend on this game. We want to spend more. Just let us do it by fixing the game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
by
give
fixing
us
it.
a reason
I
to do
really,
it.
I wholeheartedly feel like if they fix the things in the letter, that overall there would be more profit margin for them,
Hmm.
for everything that literally everything that they
This
do.
is about building the business up, not tearing it down.
Yeah, if they had us, ow, sorry.
That's why I locked mine out of the room. I'm so
Uh-huh.
mean.
Well, I got yelled at in chat for knocking my cat off my chair, who was going to start eating at my headphones. So I picked him
They
up,
do
and then
things like
he,
that. My cat loves to shove his ass in my face when I'm editing. It's
yeah.
great stuff.
Thankfully, he's not that big of an asshole, but he will eat through all of my wires. So there's that. Um, but I feel like in general, if they noted the things in the letter in a business aspect, if they did things like, all of their double spends, if they put more of a, sense of urgency on each aspect, and gave it its own month, and gave it its own honor challenge,
Yeah.
I think that would put different pressure on people for different updates. I feel like if they fixed a lot of the, secondary, like, trading systems, um, to be able to give us the things that we wanted, and if they fix the reward scales overall to close the gap more, overall more people would stay,
Mm.
high, low, in between, whatever. I feel like one of the things that we didn't really talk about is, next steps, which I would like to try to quickly. I know we've been on this call for a while, but, I would like to quickly go into next steps of the movement, before we end, what we expect of people. I can only speak for myself as an admin. I can't speak for everyone overall, but, I feel like the overall consensus is that, trying to boycott. We've, avoided the word boycott for a long time, because it doesn't work. It hasn't worked in the past. It's not going to work now. Um, Boycotting specific events just take away our gaming experience, and that's not what we're trying to do with the movement. We don't want to stop anyone from having to play anything in particular, and we don't want you guys to not play as hard as you want to overall, or at least I don't want you to stop your gaming. um I think most people in general have slowed down their spending because they're disappointed in the game and the way that they are going about doing the things that they're doing. And where I encourage people slowing down their spending, I am also not telling people to stop spending overall or completely. um, because that's just not the game that we play. Again, like Muffin said, we're not trying to make this game free to play.
No.
We understand that in order to play it, you're going to have to spend money, and I'm not stopping or asking anyone to stop spending overall. Um, what actions that I would like to see happen are targeted things, as a community to prove a point after the next update comes out. So basically, one of the things that GOG has said to us, and one of the things that we've understood as a community overall, is that it's not plausible to expect them to do anything from or anything major from this last update. And that the biggest takeaway for whether or not they're listening is going to be the next major update that comes out, and how they handle that update, which I think, any of you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think would be coat of arms.
Yeah,
Yes, no, someone nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, coat of arms.
Yeah,
Should
and then
be.
probably guard
Yes.
weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say the next big update should be coat of arms, and how they handle that update is really going to tell us whether or not they're listening overall. That gives us a couple of weeks to get our shit together as a community to figure out if they don't give us what we want overall from that update, and if we don't feel like they are listening fast enough or enough at all, what we are going to act on to try to get them to listen. And the action steps that I would like to take, which I think we've been working on a poll on the Discord server amongst the admins, based on feedback from you guys, is different, with different suggestions. A few of them being like, a few of them being
Ah, she's a good
Run away.
girl. Hi, thank you.
so cute.
Oh, bless her.
A few of them being like target $10 packs specifically, instead of saying overall a general no spend, don't spend, try to cut spending, saying for 1 week we are going to target this specific pack. Buy whatever the fuck you want that doesn't have to do with this pack. Do what you need to do for your castle for anything that isn't this one particular pack, but please, for a solid week, try to not buy this pack and see what happens. We've talked about a possible 1-star reaction push, so voting the game as a whole as 1-star. If you've rated them 1-star before, going back in the week that we're doing that and re-voting them downward. I have randomly talked about the chance of us downloading and then uninstalling and then voting 1-star for their new game that's coming out. I think that would cause a really, really, really big impact, although I don't know if that's something that we want to do as a community, is like tank their new game.
Well, I think that we need to tread carefully, because taking the douche road is not the high road, and it could end up backfiring.
Correct. So it's an option, but definitely a more of a putting ourselves out there and like really being dicks about it.
Yeah.
So whether or not we want to go like that route, or just voting Guns of Glory as a whole with like 1-star and trying to figure that out. We have also talked about a blackout overall.
Yeah, that's my favorite idea.
I have been pushing from the start for a 24-hour blackout. I think that it is something that all players can do comfortably.
I would just say though, if we do decide to do that, people are not going to want to lose their login streak, me included. So potentially we would have to do it at like 5 past a reset until 5 past a reset.
Which is fine. Which is totally fine, as long as it's as long as it's a 24-hour time period where we are quieting the
Yeah.
servers as
I'm
much as
just throwing
possible.
that out there because I know that there will be a lot of people that are going to go, fuck off, I've logged into this game every day for 4 years and I'm not losing my log on for any
Yeah,
reason.
I
And
mean,
there will be people that will have that point of view. So for
in
something to be
general
sort of thrown
in
out there.
general I would like it to be a 30-minute time spent, like a 30-minute grace period,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
like anywhere from reset to 030, log in for the last time, and then anywhere from, and then, you know, like time yourself 24 hours, um, just to try to quiet the servers as much as possible
Hmm.
and try to arm them into being like, look at all of us who are just willing to shut off the game and
Yeah.
see
I
if
think
that
that's our best option.
Yeah, there's
incites
also a
any.
shield issue. Someone mentioned on the chat that we need to shield for this period.
Right, which
Oh
is
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
that I like, which is why I personally am pushing for 24 hours instead of a whole weekend, or instead of a week or a month or any of the other things that have been
Well,
posed in the chat.
it needs to be realistic and manageable, but also noticeable. I think 24 hours is a long enough grace, like that's a good period of time.
Yeah, and it
Anything
gives
over
everyone a
that, I
chance to
think
24-hour shield.
becomes unrealistic. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
So things like that. I feel like the next step for us is planning out some actions, and figuring out what we're doing. Our whole like, I mean, I don't personally feel like the movement has been wishy-washy with anything, but I feel like there are people out there who haven't been as informed or haven't been able
yeah,
to stay as involved with chat as maybe some of the rest of us have, who have taken um, a wishy-washy kind of vibe to what's going on. Um, the KVK strike was something that we did for the first round to try to get people on board and get some things listened to, and get our voice heard and try to get more players on board. And it has been stated through then for the other KVKs since then that boycotting KVK has been a choice. Um, I feel like that's been a weird back and forth
yeah.
through the
I mean,
movement.
we boycotted for 2 KVKs, but we kind of went for it this KVK. I don't want people to be stunting their kingdom growth and their stars
Exactly.
for the sake of making a point. That's not the idea. That's not going to help anybody. Some people will continue playing, others won't. You're going to end up with even more unfair matchups if you thought they're bad now. So yes, we boycotted the first two. We didn't boycott the one yesterday. We thought we went for another kingdom. We will continue to probably go for another kingdom now, unless something else comes out of whatever comes next. You know.
Yeah. So as of right now, I feel like we've talked about boycotting specific events or stopping or playing in lower gear or whatever specific events. And as someone who has read a solid amount of the community feedback overall, we've been able to do that for strikes in the past. I don't feel like this is a viable option for us right now. What they've changed the rewards to for different events, I think especially for KVK, it's impossible to ask people to get on board with stopping specific events.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
so as much as I would encourage as you can while you're limiting your spending to try to nap for something like KVK. Personally, my kingdom won't do that. Um, Creed, you said your kingdom won't do that. Most of the big kingdoms won't do that. People like to fight. They like to play. It's why we play this game.
Yeah, and it's one
Events,
of the biggest events, and people don't want to miss out on it at the end of the
yeah,
day.
and events in general are something that people are not willing to give up. So I think one of the biggest struggles that we've had as an admin team, through the change motion is trying to figure out what we can do as a community that the majority are willing to do that is different from the past.
Please
that
send
also
us
doesn't
and send
ruin our
us
gameplay.
ideas, please.
Yeah. Send us ideas of things that you would like to see. Like, comment down below, and because then it gives us things that we can chase up as well. And I just want to say thank you to you for joining me and trying to all of us get this sort of information out there so that it's available for everybody. I'll try and get some subs on this as well. And obviously throughout this, different ones of us have mentioned videos that we've done. We'll make sure that all of those go down in the description box so that they're there for everybody. Key's videos with his drop rates and stuff would be really, really interesting to see because I don't think I saw those before. Some of Muffin's videos and Viz's as well. So we'll get all those down in the link. That'll be lovely jubbly. We'll wrap it up because this is going to get split into like 20 videos. And yeah, thanks ever so much. And thank you to everybody that's watched as well and that's tuned in and has listened. And yeah, get the word out there. Let us know what you want, what you expect, and if these changes were to happen, would you guys increase, decrease, or keep your spending the same? So yeah, thanks very much, guys.
Also, please join the Discord channel.
Not only that, we also have our line group, our Discord channel. Again, shout out to Shadow and the work that
Thanks,
he
Shadow.
does.
Thank you, Shadow.
On the main Discord channel. My biggest thing that I want to see is more details and requests, more details from GOG as to far as what they're doing. I know that we got a lot more details in the last update. We weren't really expecting anything to change for this last update when the gems came out. We knew the gems were going to still come out, so we're looking forward to see what happens on the upcoming update.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
And that'll be monitored.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Key, any last words from you, buddy? We'll let you enjoy your sandwich.
Yeah, I haven't really started eating it yet. But, I hope that I will still be around.
We hope so too.
But we'll kind of see what happens with the next couple of weeks and reactions to things and how things go. But you know, I'm 1 foot out the door, so the changes need to be more immediate for me. Otherwise, it was a fun 2 years, and I enjoy the YouTube community and the community as a whole. So thanks everybody for the support. And you know, if this is one of my last, then hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and hopefully this pushes for a positive change, and maybe the game changes, and in 6 months might decide to come back. You know,
I think the majority feel that same way, Key.
Yeah.
Everyone's got that 1 foot right now with the way everything's going. And, you know, that's totally everyone's own decision.
This is the last ditch attempt.
Basically, I mean.
I agree. For me as well. Like personally, I've very much been on the fence for a couple of months.
Yeah.
I love my kingdom, and I love this movement, and I love all of the things that we are trying to do. But the game that I started playing is not the game that I'm playing anymore, and I'm tired as fuck.
It is exhausting, especially when you have all this extra shit on top.
Yeah, I'm tired as fuck, so I feel you there.
Muffin, any last words from you, lovely?
Yes, definitely. Shout out to GOG or Good Change admins. So Butterfly, Harley, Duke, thanks very much for all your hard work.
Thank you to everybody.
Elvira, Daisy, Nemesis, Savage, thank you very much. It's a lot of work, really, to put some stuff together. So thanks, guys. And please subscribe to Keychain and Viserion.
Yeah, definitely.
And Creed, and Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Keychain, Creed, Muffin. I have 4 videos. I don't really know.
Get the subs up.
Don't forget to subscribe to me as well.
Oh yeah, featuring 433s the Megalodon. Thank you ever so much, guys. Have a lovely evening. Mwah. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. Love you, Mania.